We are live.
I'm not really thrilled with it. Like, I wouldn't be able to drink that all night.
No.
It tastes
Apparently,
like gasoline.
Yeah.
afterwards.
Apparently,
you sip on it.
Someone I work with said, "Yo, that and a couple other like $200-$300 bottles. You're supposed to like. There's a method to it. You're supposed
sip
to like
on it, swish it in your
You're
mouth.
supposed to like something like that,
Yeah.
then swallow, then a deep breath out, and then it like releases. Like there's a method to it. But like, who the fuck wants to do that?
Yeah, it's too much work. But
Like, that's
I
for like if
definitely
you're like
sip
out on your porch and shit, like all night hanging out. Yo, how do I make the fucking chat appear? Because we're live. And there it is.
The chat,
Little
chat
bubble.
box.
Yeah, I got it.
I'm getting everything all wet. That's what she said.
Fat ass Joe. Yes, thank you.
First comment of the night. Fat ass show. All right.
So he is gonna call us, Rob,
He's gonna call us. Let me just hit him with a text. Real quick.
and that's at what time?
9:45. So we're gonna
Okay, cool.
get the show on the road.
Don't forget. 2 reads.
Yeah.
I would.
I think we should just bang them out.
I would do one, then convo, then next. I wouldn't do back to back. It's fucking like 7 minutes straight of no. Joe's hoodie says pen, but his fat ass ate the E off the end. Pen A. Ooh, that's a good one. Well, I'm actually losing weight, so far so good. Rob, what are you doing?
I'm getting my phone set up to the Bluetooth, so when he calls, we're good.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm ready to go.
Okay. Are we doing trivia?
No trivia.
No trivia tonight. Ask the Bros?
We are doing an Ask the Bros.
Separate or one
Separate.
as one? Separate?
Yeah.
Okay.
Separate Ask the Bros.
Let's see. Yeah, so we're not live yet on the audio podcast if you're in the live stream right now. Just doing the normal, getting set up before we go live. What are you doing now?
Putting a little beard oil in my fucking beard, man.
Beard oil.
We're about to go fucking
beard,
live,
beard.
you know? Gotta look good for the fucking mommies. Miss Nevins and Alexis Williams in the stream, you know?
So, I have to start copying you on emails, but there's a whiskey brand who I've been in talks with, right, for sponsorship. And they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna take a look into his content."
Said, "Go fuck yourself."
Chick emailed me back. Oh my!
Ah! He's gonna start CCing you on all the emails that he sends out, though. And you're not sending it from fucking
At Yahoo.
at yahoo.com,
No,
right?
it's not a Yahoo.
Please have a Gmail.
No, it says like Robert Frank Partnerships at Gmail.
Let's see. All right, are you ready, Rob?
I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
All right.
Let me get to my YouTube.
Zach G is in the building. What else? All right, we're about to go live. Are you done making? Yeah.
Yes, I'm done. I'm ready.
Jonathan.
I'm aggravated.
Jonathan Vega. I know the stock's going up. Airbnb, but I am not buying something that is valued way higher than it should be. That also doesn't mean it won't go down. So I don't. I'm just not touching something that's overvalued. All right. So ready to go live?
Yeah.
All right. Testing audio.
Yeah.
Please stop.
Stop being a
People,
little
I'm not
bitch
buying
and go make
something that is. See, you're fucking with the stuff right
I told you
All right, you feel
that I had to get
Oh,
on here so
all right,
I could
so
see what the fuck is going on.
about to go live.
And I feel like I'm not centered.
It's because you're not. Hold on.
Well, I just moved me, so I should be centered now.
You are now centered. You're also tan as a motherfucker on this thing.
Well, that's good. I should be tan.
Jesus.
Black Lives Matter.
Christ.
Joey,
Okay.
can we turn down the hue on my camera to make me at least not look like?
Nah, because you're black.
how do
he's
you
like red, kind of.
Oh, he looks good. Ray looks good. What are you talking about?
I need to be the black man on the show.
$5 dono came in from Riding with Rowdy. He says, "What's up, fam? Love that I'm back in the U.S." Well, we love that you're back in the
Welcome
U.S.,
back,
bro.
brother.
Hope all is awesome. Let's rock star this awesome trends of goodness. Yes, sir.
Why do I hear?
Whose phone? That's Ray's phone.
Dear God, this is why we do
You
a
gotta-
million.
You
This
got
is
to
why
pause
we do
it.
85 tests before we go live. All right, so are we ready now? Get
Listen,
ready?
we're still learning, guys.
Yeah. It's only 3
In 2
years.
years, 3 years,
years.
whatever it's been, we're still learning.
All right. Remember how many? Do you remember like we went almost a year and a half of the audio fucked up?
Someone said that you're fat and gay. Oh, that was Brendan. Jesus.
Oh God. Okay. I'm one of those things. All right. So ready, Rob?
Yeah, I'm ready, baby.
All right. Getting ready. Testing intro.
Marissa says to me sometimes, your legs are
Sometimes I
getting bigger.
just got to
No,
take care of shit
Marissa
myself
says-
in the stream. Oh, wait. Are we live?
Wow. What did you do?
Sorry.
You
Go ahead.
ban-
Let's
you-
go.
did
Let's
you
go.
ban somebody?
I'm ready. Yes, I banned somebody.
Who did you ban?
Somebody kept saying Jews in the fucking live stream.
Oh, okay.
So they're like, why that?
Listen.
Say something about them. Like, Jews are cool. Jews suck. Say something. Don't just say Jews.
Listen,
Jews.
guys.
Jews.
Guys, this is the podcast. If you'd like to be
You just
racist,
banned one of our listeners.
if you'd like to be racist, join Rob's racist live
Yeah, if
stream.
you want to be racist, join the racist live streams during the week. Don't fucking do this shit during the Glorious House of Gainz podcast. We're professional. We got sponsors. We got bills to pay. We got people to keep happy.
Yeah. Save that other stuff for when Rob talks about his shit at 11 p.m. on weekdays.
Yeah.
All right.
Now
so-
someone said somebody sounds like a fag. Now, see, we can't even say that shit.
Why are you people talking like this?
Yeah.
don't know what the
Who
hell's
says
going
that
on.
word? You know what? Bubba Watson. What's that guy's name? The golfer that kept saying
No.
faggot over and
No,
over and
that
over.
was,
That was a race car driver, right?
no, that's a golfer, and it is.
Oh, the guy that was caught
Justin
on the
Thomas.
Yeah, Justin Thomas. Did he make an apology speech yet?
Yeah, he apologized like immediately.
Fuck him. He is a faggot.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
All right. Listen, Dennis Naylor or whatever. Please stop making fun of me. All right.
If you guys make fun of Joey, it's all good. Just don't say the F word and don't call him a Jew.
I mean, listen, in the stream, you can say,
Can
honestly,
we go live?
Yeah,
What do
let's
we-
go live.
All right, but what do we care what they say?
We
in
have
the
a
stream?
guest coming on. We got to go live.
All right, but just real quick, what they
Yeah.
say in the stream, as long as you're not repeating it, then
Yeah.
it's like it's not even happening. Because let's be real, I'm not gay, and honestly, whoever calls me gay, not that I have anything against gay people, but if you like to confront me about it, I will literally whoop your ass. Why? Because I probably weigh 50 pounds more than you,
Probably.
and I'm athletic and limber as fuck, even at 250, and I will whoop you. Also, I'm married and I've been with the same girl for 15 years, and I probably have more sex than you've ever had in your entire life this week alone. Let's start the podcast. Who's gay now? Ready?
Joe's feeling himself now that he's
No, I don't like. I mean, you want to make fun of, say, gay and this and that. That's fine, but like, don't keep doing it, because if we met at a bar, you really question you saying that. Ready? Let's go, Rob. 3, 2, 1.
Marissa says to me sometimes, your legs are getting bigger. No, bitch, they ain't getting bigger because I don't train no goddamn legs.
You're listening to the Glorious House of Gainz podcast. Here's your host, Robert Frank. You're that CrossFit guy that bashes CrossFit. And I'm like, yeah. Like, dude, I love your shit. Can I take a picture?
Yeet or be yeeted with a $2 dono says, are you guys missing someone? No, we have Tupac there. He's got his good little sheep wear to their mask t-shirt with the emoji headband and the emoji joggers and a juicy AF and a swole the goal size the prize wristband available at robertfrank615.com. Jesus Christ. What's going on, everybody? Robert Frank here with you. Glorious House of Gainz podcast, episode 142. I'm very excited tonight because we have a guest coming on in about 20 minutes that I'm a big fan of. I don't use the fan word. Fan is a fugazi term, right? That just means, but listen, when you're a fan of someone, that means that person is famous. And let me tell you something. John motherfucking Silver is famous. He's on national TV every Wednesday night. He's on YouTube every Monday night. He's usually on YouTube every Tuesday if he's not on TV on Wednesday. This dude is all over the place, man. But that is 20 more minutes from now. Right now, I am at the round table of testosterone, which is actually a square because there's a leaf in the middle of the table. To my right, we have the butcher, the baker, the donut maker, Joey Bag of Donuts.
Another one.
To his right, we have, he's thick in the midsection. Don't let him bang your daughter because she'll need a C-section. Jacked man with the permanent tan. Fresh, coming back off of the DC Capitol storm. Ray Worldwide. What's up, Ray?
Everybody in the building, let's get it, let's go.
Troll. Sean Cease with a $2 donut says, so anyone else drunk or is it just me? No, we're all pretty drunk, Sean. Well, I am. Ray might be. Joey is on a diet.
I'm getting there.
On a diet.
All right, we'll get into all that diet nonsense before our guest comes on, but let's pay the bills real quick, right? Let's get that out of the way. Let's give a shout out to our Patreon members. We have a couple new ones this week. We have Birdman Brand. We have Liam Flaherty, who actually left a long-ass message for his name. It was like, Liam, I fucked your mom in the ass, so cum came out of her nose, something type shit. But it was too long to read, and I couldn't see it all in one. It kept getting broken off when I was trying to upload all the new Patreon members. So, Liam, I'm sorry I wasn't able to read your monologue, but appreciate you being a Patreon member. Savage, Rob H., John Q., Poppy Sebs, and TJ Anderson are our new Patreon members this week. Welcome to the family, guys. And now, Joey, let's get to the God Amongst Men. God Amongst Men, $30 tier here on Patreon, baby. TJ Anderson, Poppy Sebs, Luke Dupic, Harry Pasco, Tranny Granny 9-inch, Alpha Omega, John Kuchak, Jakes Irvin, Chicano Batman, Adam B, D Tibbs, Will Torres, Lane Yardley, Jeremiah Robinson, Small Fry, Sean Cease, Jimmy the Bread Guy, Carl Angel Sr., Stephen Carter, Patrick Edge, Jacob Heimer, Ryan Mack, Mike Puente, Vincent Baffa, A Certified Motherfucker G, Jeremy J, Joe Arizona, Bryce Burke, Tyler Vincent, Bryce, Kevin Zermano, Chris M, Kiwi Jace, Rob Walker, Colin Moretti, Page 2, Jose Estrada, AC Capola, Hattie Viss, and Hank Bowers. Thank you guys for your continued support of the God Amongst Men and holding it up for all of the God Amongst Men out there. Now we get to the elite. The elite. Come on, Joey. The elite. Come on, Joey. He's bopping his head, but he's not singing. Kevin Hackey, Bill Burns, Nathaniel Ellis, Mark Massaro, The Iron Giant, Nathan Tejada, Victor, James, John Nelson, Damian McCoy, Eric Perez, Cody Lawson, Zach C., and
Zach G.
In the house. Is Zach in the house?
He is.
All right, Zach is in the house. All right. Oh, hey guys, are you a smoker? Let's get to the Lucy. Listen, guys, I know it's killing you guys in the beginning of the show. You're like, God damn, man, these motherfuckers be advertising the shit out of the show. But we do have a guest. We like to break it up. We like to split things up a little bit. But tonight, you know what? People are smoking. It's a new year. We need to get them off the cigarettes. We need to get them off the vapes. We need to get them off the electronic cigarettes, the Juuls, the iPods, AirPods, whatever the fuck you guys smoke. Lucy Nicotine is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck. Researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. So you guys are not patients, you're people, okay? Just like you guys aren't fans, you're friends. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 delicious flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. They also come in a lozenge with 4 milligrams of nicotine in cherry ice flavor. Each and every flavor actually tastes great. It's convenient, discreet. Products can be enjoyed anywhere, like on flights, at work, on the go, or even at the gym. So Kaylee actually has a pack of the Lucy gum. She's going to give us an update next time she comes back on the show to let us know how she likes it, because she's always puffing on that, what is that thing called? The Juul Pod or whatever the fuck. So she's going to give us an update of how she likes the nicotine gum by Lucy and see if she placed an order or not and use our discount code GAINZ. So It's 2020, guys. Get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out your dip, and get some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each month. It's so simple, you don't even have to leave your house because Lucy has delivery down pat. Glorious House of Gains listeners, this is what you need to do. Go to lucy.co and use promo code GAINZ to get 20% off. That's GAINZ with a Z. For all products, including the gum or lozenges. That's lucy.co. C-O, not C-O-M like .com. It's C-O. And use the promo code GAINZ with a Z at checkout. I must warn you, this product contains nicotine derived from tobacco. Nicotine is an addictive chemical. That is lucy.co. Be sure to use the promo code GAINZ. All right, there we go. And we paid the bills for now, and we'll get to our other sponsor a little bit later on.
Do you want to know something crazy?
What's crazy, Joe?
I just realized that the entire time that I've been on this laptop for, being the soundboard guy or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I can literally talk to people by just typing in where it says add a comment. I press enter and they can read it.
Yeah, but it'll come up as Robert Frank 615 saying it.
It does, but I'm just saying I didn't know that feature existed.
Of course it does.
I never used it, so if I ever need to speak to someone who's talking in here, I could actually use it. I never knew that.
Have you used the feature? Did you tell someone to shut the fuck up?
No, I just wrote in there. I was saying test, does this work? And apparently it does.
Gotcha.
Interesting.
So you know how with Patreon members, well, first of all, we'll welcome Ray back. We'll figure out where he's been for the last 7 days. We'll talk about your weigh-in before we have our caller call in, which is probably going to be about 12 minutes from now. So we got a lot to cover.
We also have a super chat that we missed.
Okay, so get to the super chat first.
It's from East Coast Toasty Boy.
Yeah.
$5 dono. It says, wait, Joey, do you say another one because that's DJ Khaled saying, or catchphrase or something and you're associated with DJ Khaled? So I say that because people say I look like DJ Khaled. So it's just a thing that
DJ Khaled looks like you.
Yeah, so it's just
You're older, aren't you?
I don't know how old he is. I'm 37. I have no idea how old he is.
Ray, how old is DJ Khaled?
I bet he's
40.
I would imagine
he's
in his
older.
40s.
40? I would
Yes.
imagine
Okay.
he's older.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Someone in the live stream, give us an update. How old is DJ Khaled?
And then $5 dono from Tremendous Gains.
Yeah.
Make Joey shit in airplane bathrooms again. 2021 road to 200.
Damn. Okay. All right.
Who would actually
that's
watch
good.
that?
Who would pay for that?
That
That would be a Patreon exclusive.
No, that would not be anywhere.
So speaking of Patreon exclusives, guys, you know how I always drop all the shit on Patreon first, right? I like to give them the heads up. Today, we're going to do something a little bit different, only because I know I have a lot of Patreon representatives in the live stream right now, so I don't feel as bad. However, along with the beard oil, Joey, what project have we been working on for probably 2+ years?
Whiskey?
Well, that's one of them, but what is another one? A fashion one that may or may not be over your left
it's
shoulder
funny,
right now.
The next one, I wasn't even going to go with that because we've been working on so many things.
Yeah.
I was going to go a book.
Yeah.
Then you'd say, no, what else?
Yeah, what else, Joe?
A deep V-neck tee.
We've been trying to get down a deep V-neck tee to get the shorties down on their knees, begging to see what's behind your PSDs for the longest. This was way before COVID. This was way before the world shut down and bars closed and everything. We wanted a shirt that the bros can wear out to the bar that was going to be a conversation piece. It was going to be something that you could wear with a pair of jeans and feel fucking good, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, breaking news right now on the Glorious House of Gains podcast, episode 142. What's the timestamp right now? 9:36 p.m. Our time, but what's the timestamp on the podcast? About
probably about 15 minutes.
15 minutes or so? Okay. I'm gonna show you guys, okay?
And DJ Khaled is 45, by the way. Thank you very much for that intel.
Good shit. On RobertFrank615.com right now, we have the deep V-neck T-shirt, which is made of 50% cotton.
Rob, make the camera go down more. Show
down.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Show
down
off.
and up.
You got to show the
down
emblem. I'm saying show the
and
emblem.
up. Yeah, I mean, they could see the emblem. This is the shirt that you could wear it to the gym. You could wear it to the bar. You could wear it to the club. You wear it with a pair of jeans. You could wear it with a pair of joggers. You could wear it whatever the fuck you want. But it is a deeper V than your typical V-neck little bullshit V that you see at the store on the racks. This is custom made. This is not a brand. This is not American Apparel. It's not Gildan. It's not Next Level. This is made from fucking scratch. We've been working on this forever.
We just need
and
to
it
get some more
finally
jacked
dropped.
mannequins. That's all.
That's it. Yeah, this mannequin does. Listen,
It doesn't even fucking
to all Ziz's credit. I love Ziz to death, right? But he does this shirt no fucking justice.
You do need. You know they make jacked mannequins.
They make
too.
jack mannequins.
Yeah.
I need a jack mannequin. People will think I'm weird though.
No,
if
dude.
they like come down here to do work in the apartment, like
No, dude,
let's say there's like a sprinkler leak. First of all, people come down here and they see 2 mannequins anyway, and they're like, "What the fuck is going on down here?"
House of a Thousand Corpses.
They see House of a Thousand Corpses. They see all the posters and all the bullshit.
It
They
would-
see the dildo down
It
out
would be-
laying on the ground.
It would
They're
be.
like, "What is happening here?"
It would be weird if they had no like clothing on. But I mean, it's obvious they're like showpieces.
Yeah.
Get a jacked
But
one.
anyway,
I'll find the link for you.
all right, find a link. We're gonna get a jack one. It'll get weird.
Look at this. It looks
Yeah, I mean, his
strong.
guns are not hugging the sleeves of that medium deep V-neck, right? Shit. But anyway, it's got the elongated back, the scallop back, so the back is a little bit longer than the front. It's got the emoji logo, very small on the right hand, down at the bottom. It's not like in your face. It's not in the middle. It's a shirt that you could wear out and feel good about it. So anyway, that's at robertfrank615.com. Available for sale right now. It is called the emoji black deep V-neck tee or something like that. Let's see. Let's go to Ray first before we get to your weigh-in, Joey. Ray, where have you been over the past week? I mean, do you want to expose the business or do you want to make up a cool story?
And I do apologize for everyone if you see me in a live stream. I keep looking down, just checking my bank account. I'm actually waiting for my check to hit from storming the Capitol last week.
I heard
be direct deposit,
but like, what is the point? Like, you can't get the Capitol don't have no Jordans. The Capitol doesn't have 75-inch flat screens.
I got paid
What
to
was
be there,
what-
man.
Oh,
Ruckus.
Soros paid you to be there.
I mean,
Oh shit, I'm
I'm
exposing
supposed
the
to be
business.
just
over
saying that.
here.
I'm just, all I said was I'm waiting on my check, bro. Hey, yo, if y'all can hear me, pay me.
So you're
I did my part.
So they already locked up the Viking dude, the guy that had the Viking hat on.
Yeah,
and
a lot of the people I was there with, but I have immunity.
that I was there with. Yo, there's a dude on TikTok,
Yeah,
bro.
I got immunity.
The video has like 80 million views on TikTok, and it's this white dude that's probably built like fucking Ziz, right? He's 12'6", no muscle at all. And he's got on all black, and he's in like a hotel room. And he's taking a selfie for TikTok. He's doing the video. And he's like, yeah, I was in the Capitol building. We're going back right now, and we're storming it. And I'm gonna change my clothes. And I was like, yeah, this is not a Trump supporter. No Trump supporter talks like this, except for Conservative Ant. Shout out to Conservative Ant on TikTok. But anyway.
Yeah, there was a lot of people out there, and made a lot of friends that day. Let's just say.
Dude, let me ask.
Everybody was looking at me like I was crazy, and I was like, "Yo, I'm here." You know, like
Now,
I'm friends
did
with
you-
Robert Frank, and they were like, "Oh, the racist dude on Instagram." I was like, "Yeah, that guy." And like, I got a speed pass just for dropping your name.
Yo,
Thank
so
you.
let me ask you: Did you go in like full MAGA gear?
No,
did you, like,
no,
blend-
no,
oh,
no,
oh, so you didn't.
not full gear, but I had to represent, a little bit. the
Because what
colors
they did,
because-
they threw on the MAGA hat just so they blend in, and then they go and they fucking stir shit up.
No, I had a sign, but no MAGA gear.
What you remember what the sign said?
Yeah, I know what the sign said. But listen, I'm floating
He's
around
not
on the
trying to
internet
get
a little bit too
arrested.
much.
But
Yeah,
listen,
I'm good.
but before our stream gets cut, can you please
Yeah.
tell us where you really were last week? I don't want you getting arrested.
Where were? Make up something, Ray. Where were you last week?
I was home on COVID lockdown.
He was on COVID lockdown. All right, there you go. All right, well, it's good to have you back, man. It's always good to
be
see
back,
your
good to be
face.
back.
People love you on the show, and we're glad to have you.
John,
And thank you very much for this podcast because I've actually unloaded 6 pairs of Jordans because of the podcast. So.
John Nelson with a $4 dono just ordered a deep V-neck tee.
Let's go.
Yo, big shouts to John because he literally supports everything
Yeah.
that we do. I mean, both your brand, my shit. Yo, John, I can't wait to have a drink with you one day, my dude.
John is that dude, man.
Yeah, Ray. We got Vin in the live stream, and he said, "Ray, you better be careful because you're gonna get a warrant on your." I don't know.
I have immunity.
He's got immunity.
Listen, Vin, we don't give a shit if Ray gets arrested.
Yeah.
Fuck him.
Joey, we got a couple minutes before this phone is going to ring, and I hope that I can get this set up perfectly so we don't fuck up. But we do have John Silver from the Dark Order AEW Wrestling coming on with us tonight, spending a few minutes, so we're really pumped up for that. Joey, it's the 2-week mark. So according to the old calendar here, all right, your starting weight was 256. By today, you were supposed to be 250, actually tomorrow morning. But because we do the podcast on Thursdays, we said that we are going to actually weigh you in on Thursdays, and then you will upload to, whatever.
Yeah,
on
tomorrow I'm going to weigh in once again to get the most accurate weight for my posts online.
Okay. But as of now, your Thursday weight, which is what we'll go by because we do the podcast on Thursday, you were 256 last week. You had to be 251 today.
I was 256.4
Okay.
13 days ago.
Okay.
Are you telling me now the new rule is I have to lose 5 pounds?
You have to lose 5 pounds every 2 weeks.
Or I thought it was just be under and not gain weight. Are you fucking serious?
Bro, we called it out. Every 2 weeks, you have to be down 5 pounds.
I didn't know that, but now I know. Now
Okay.
I really got to go hard. Well, good news for the first. Damn, that's fucked up, Rob.
No, it's not fucked up.
That's going to be hard to do, or hard to maintain, I should say. Anyway, for the first 2 weeks, 13 days in, I weighed in this morning, and obviously I told Rob this morning, so this is the truth.
Yeah.
250.2 for a loss in 13 days of 6.2 pounds.
Good for you.
So he's
Joe.
250.2.
Yeah.
So now, by the 28th of January, which
gotta
is
be
2 weeks from now,
245.
you have to be 245.2.
0.1.
Or 0.2.
Okay,
I mean, you
fi-
lose 5
it's
pounds. 5
per
even.
more.
Yeah.
Okay, 5
there you
even.
go.
Okay, gotcha.
So good for you, man. So you do not have to wear the Wendy's wig today.
Yeah.
As you tell. So tell us what you did.
I mean, obviously, it was hard work. I went to the gym. All right. The first week out of 7 days, I went 6 days the first week, and I went 5 days the second week.
Okay.
So I was 11 for 14.
Joe, don't let me
gym.
forget to do the Blue Chew read,
Yeah, I
please.
got it.
Okay,
I got
all
it.
right. As long as you got
So I went a minimum of 5 days a week,
Yep.
and the 1 day, 6 days. So 11 for 14, and the diet obviously is the most
Yo,
important.
I never printed that out. Talk.
The diet, thanks. I was going to talk anyway, asshole. The diet was the most important part,
I did print it.
and it was the hardest part. The first 5 days, I had
We
incredible.
got a phone. Is that ringing through the Bluetooth?
Well, fuck me. Here
Well,
we go.
fuck you. Hold on a second. Let's see if I can get this merged here. Hey, caller, are you on the line?
Uh-oh.
Hold on a second. Hang tight. We're gonna get you synced up. Hang on a second. Here we go. I got you. Caller, are you with us?
I am with you.
There we go.
All right, here we go. I mean, we've been telling people who's been on the lot who was going to call in tonight for the show. I'm a little nervous right now. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, Joey, do you have that the Bluetooth all the way up? The Bluetooth one, just so I could hear everything. Okay. All right, John, are you with us?
Yep, I hear you.
All right, here we go. So I have this epic introduction that I made for John here. So John, just bear with me, okay? As we introduce you, okay? On the line with us right now, ladies and gentlemen, he is the current reigning and defending BTE champion. He's hungry. He's thirsty. He's the meat man. He's just a kid, but he's actually 29. He is the star of Being the Elite. He is the man who will get a bigger pop than Stone Cold Steve Austin, Hulk Hogan, and The Rock combined when fans are allowed back in the building at full capacity. He is the most overdude in the YouTube comment section. He's your friend and mine. From All Elite Wrestling's The Dark Order, John Silver.
I love that.
Come on, bro.
Yeah, that was,
Tell Justin Roberts to get on my level, bro.
dude, that was good. I'm gonna have to bring you down and give you my own personal ring out.
I'll be your own personal ring announcer. I'll be like the Joel Gertner of AEW. How are you, bro?
I'm good. I'm fantastic. Actually, I feel great today. How you doing?
We're doing good, man. It's good to have you on the show. Where are you right now? Are you in Florida or are you in New York? Where are you at?
No, I'm home in New York right now, so I'm just hanging out. I was actually just video games and just hanging out tonight.
Gotcha. Good shit. So the first thing that I wanted to say was I'm just gonna have to bust your balls just a little bit, right? Because yesterday I asked you on Instagram. I said, bro, give me a promo pic that I could use for like the podcast art and to plug you on like the Glorious podcast page. And John sends me a picture that has 2 fucking dudes in it. And I'm like, what? How am I going to use this? That's almost like you have like an online dating site and you make your main profile picture, you and another dude. It's like, how do chicks know who you are? But I guess the point of this is to get people to know who you are. And I will use that picture because you are looking fucking jacked in that picture, by the way.
It's a good pic. And the crowd in the back. And
yeah.
Great.
When was that picture taken? That was obviously in AEW. What was that, one of the pay-per-views or was that one of the live events?
That actually might have been. I think that was actually our first ever show with AEW.
Oh shit! Okay.
Yeah, we did. We came in to be basically jobbers for the night. Like there was no plan for us. It wasn't like, hey, you guys are signed. It was we fucking got there. I'm allowed to curse in here, right?
Yeah, of course.
We got there and our names were on the board and we thought we were like we got hit up for the show. We thought we were getting signed. We thought we were like in, and then we got like to the show and on the board it said Proud and Powerful versus Local Talent. So we're like,
oh shit,
damn, that's rough.
But I think it was that show we did. It was like the third ever Dynamite, and we had like a 2-minute match with Proud and Powerful.
Okay. All right. Are they still called Proud and Powerful, by the way, or are they just Santana and Ortiz again?
I think they're still Proud and Powerful, but I think everyone just calls them like Inner Circle.
Gotcha.
So
all right. Well,
names, I guess, but
listen, you're more over than the Inner Circle anyway. It doesn't matter. But let me just backtrack a little bit because we're gonna get to your past and all that shit and like how you got started in wrestling,
sure.
Obviously. But so for the Dark Order, right? When you guys first came out, I mean, you know it. You read the dirt sheets. You read the stuff on the internet. You guys were getting destroyed, okay? People were killing you guys, all the bunch of jobbers. It was almost like the Dark Order was getting like go-away heat, right? And then Brody Lee comes, and he's like the exalted one. Like you guys were teasing this for months that there's this dude, he's coming, he's the exalted one, he's like our leader. And people were just like, oh yeah, when is this dude coming? It was rumored who it was going to be. And then it was revealed that it was Brody Lee, and he like gave you guys instant credibility. Like whatever you guys were doing before that, like disappeared, and now you guys got like a new life, right? And you started doing these BTE skits, which were fucking hilarious, and it actually let your personality show. Everyone's Evil Uno and Alex Reynolds, everyone's personality showed. But you, obviously, you're the star of the show. And how crazy was it that you guys were, because you had to feel some type of way reading the internet, because I know you probably check it out and you're seeing all the shit written about you, Jim Cornette, whoever, talking all this shit, and then all of a sudden you're the most fucking over thing. Like, tell us about that transition.
Yeah, that was really weird because going into us being put in the Dark Order, me and Alex had like these really cool vignettes of like us like we were in a hotel room and that the dude that with the spokesman guy like did a thing where he was like in the TV and talking to Alex, and then it was I thought the vignettes were fucking awesome. And I was like, wow, it's gonna be so good. And then I think people just had their mind made up about Stu and Uno since their debut,
right?
Because they debuted and people saw like creepy guys and they're like, oh, this is weird. I don't like it. These guys are the worst guys in the world.
Yeah.
And it was just, everyone's mind was just made up right then. Like right off the bat. I saw Uno doing that on the indies and I thought it was so cool. And it didn't like, I'm like, wow, he's coming out with all these guys. It's creepy as hell. It's like a weird pervert cult. I love it. And then we get put in it. And then, of course, everyone in the world hates it.
Yeah.
Eventually, like, early on, even before they knew who the Exalted One was, we heard there was going to be a leader. So we were excited that it would obviously help us a bunch. A few names are tossed around. Pretty much the names that were speculated were the ones that we were thinking of. It was Matt Jackson actually would come up to us and he would just start talking. He's like, yeah, it's going to be Exalted One. It's going to be, we don't know who it's going to be. It might be Matt Hardy. It could be Marty. It could be Brody. It's probably going to be one of those three. I think obviously
none of those would have been a bad pick, but I mean, yeah, go on.
I think Brody was the best pick for what we were. Like Matt's gimmick, it would have brought us, I think, a different direction. It could have been interesting. It could have been good, but I think like Brody came in like the strict, like cult, angry leader that like would beat the shit out of, with followers. It was like he played the role perfectly. I thought it was amazing. Marty, maybe that would have been good too, but I like Brody. I think it was perfect. What he did was perfect. Wearing the suit with his big beard, big like a tall guy, big strong guy. So eventually, some people were like, "Okay, I'm getting into this a little bit," and then I think once we started, it was tough because he debuted right after like COVID. Like he was supposed to have the first show. The first show that got canceled. That was the debut show. So me and Alex weren't allowed to go because New Yorkers weren't allowed to go anywhere, I guess, for like a month. There was some kind of ban against New Yorkers because
New Yorkers
you could say it because of Cuomo.
Cooties.
Go ahead.
Basically, but he couldn't go anywhere. So I had to watch the beginning of it, and people started to kind of get into then, and then we had some really cool angles, especially with my family and beating the crap out of Cody. But then also like me and Alex, so we did BTE. We started doing BTE because I think Uno suggested that me and Alex should do recruitment videos or something like that. I was like, maybe I should recruit people on BT or something. So originally it was supposed to just be us two. Like that was supposed to be just us two. And eventually we did bits with just me and Alex recruiting people. But the first thing we did to set that up was Brody come in, yell at all of us, and tell us basically we need to recruit people. And he came in and he freaking tagged Uno in the face with the papers. Yep. And then the comments, there were so many comments about that. It was like, hey, I can see watch Brody do this every day. And so we started to do, both our recruitment videos and those videos. And he's I think just all of our personalities work really well together. I get along with everyone in the Dark Order. There's no and everyone's brings something a little bit different to the table. Yeah. So it makes it's so easy to work off each other, and especially with Brody, he was so funny that it was you watch the videos. I'm cracking up in all these videos, obviously, clearly laughing my ass off in these videos. So we knew, after the first one, I'm okay, we have something here. Yeah, and then we also did a
key, bro.
It was perfect. It literally we talked about, hey, maybe we'll do this. No lines were set. It wasn't hey, you say this and then I say that. It was just all right, Brody's gonna come in and he's gonna be mad at us and yell at us, and then this happens. That's how it ends. And then all that stuff was just us off the top of the head saying shit.
The one line to me that always popped me, that I even told you about it, was he's just a kid. He's just because Brody would always be pissed at you. He'd be up in your face screaming at you. And everybody, whether it was Alex Reynolds or Una, hey, but give him a break. He's just a kid. And you'd be like, I'm 29, bro. That popped me. And was that planned, or did that just come off the top of your head?
Completely off the top of the head.
That's amazing.
That was he had us up. He had us lined us up the first time we did it, and Alex was my tag partner. So when he was about to yell at me. I forgot what I said. I think I said Stu was being a dick or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's you know what? Hold it. He goes to Alex. He's like, why is it always something with Silver? And Alex I feel like he was thrown the spot. And he didn't know what to say. He's like, he's just a kid. And I'm like, Alex, I'm 29 years old. What do you mean I'm a kid?
Like it's that type of goofy shit that cracks me up. And then the other thing I told you too, any skit that you were in, like any bit, you were always in your gear. Like no matter what you were doing, whether you were recruiting people, you were always like in your tights, boots, and knee pads. Like you were getting ready to go out for a match. It was hilarious. So
I did that. I did that for a while until I got lazy, and sometimes we'd be filming these BT bits like extremely late. So I'm like, you know what? I have a match at 8, and then I don't want to be in my gear till 1. You know, you're sweaty ass freaking gear. So eventually now every once in a while I'll wear like shorts or something like that, or my t-shirt. But I always like that was the first thing. I'm like, I got to be in my gear all the time. It's funny. But then I just got lazy.
Yeah, no, that is funny. Now talk to me for a bit, because I like bro, I've watched that piece that you guys did on BTE the week after Brody's passing. I must have watched that like 50 times on my own. Like every time I did cardio, I just watched that episode over and over with all the different skits and everything. Just because I don't want to be too negative on the podcast, right? But or sad, but just tell us what Brody Lee meant to you personally and what he brought to the table that leaves a lasting impression with John Silver.
I mean, like you said, he once he came in, it made us a legitimate thing. Like we were not just paying the bullshit losers that no one liked. We were the dark. We were a legit, badass group. So right off the bat, just him being him, that just helped us raise all of our stock right there. Like personally, he was, the great. He was such a cool guy. He was just. It's hard to say how his personality was. He genuinely cared, like, about everyone. Like he wasn't like, hey, I care because you're in my group, and if you do good, then we all do good. It's like, no, he genuinely cares about me, about everyone in AEW, people, anyone that he meets. He's just like a nice, genuine human.
Yep.
It was just, like I don't think there's any person in the world that has something negative to say about him. He was such a good guy, and I told the story on my Instagram, my Twitter, about the robe, the ring jacket I wear to the ring, and the Brody gear. So he literally just like, hey, I'm going to buy you this gear, because he was so happy of how things were going with BTE. He loved it. He was having the time of his life. So he loved that, and us two worked very well together. And then Tony, he told the story on Twitter also, but he messaged Brody. He's like, hey, I think we're going to start doing something with you and Silver, where it's kind of like a Raven and Stevie Richards, where it's like, he'd be the Raven, like the serious, tough, guy.
Right.
And I'm the fucking goofball that for some reason they're best friends, but they're, it's like that dynamic. And he loved that idea. He was pumped. And he's like, you know what? I'm going to buy you a rain jacket, and I'm going to buy you. So the thing with the gear too, which is funny, is that, so he bought me the ring jacket. I'm like, that's fucking awesome. The thing was expensive. It's not the cheap thing.
Yeah, those things ain't cheap, man.
Coming out looking like
they're
Flip.
very, but it that originally, that elevates my stock right there. Just coming out looking more professional and good. And then the gear wasn't cheap. It's not a cheap set of gear either, but he says like, yeah, I have an idea for BT. I'm like, all right, sweet. What's your idea? He's like, I don't really know. I just think it'd be funny if we did something like that eventually. So he didn't actually have an idea. He just thought maybe there was an idea. Like maybe we could think of something. We'll figure it out.
Well, you had the ring gear made too, right? Was that made by Brody, or did you have that made? Not the jacket, the actual like the singlet with the long pants thing.
Yeah, he bought me that. That's the idea he had for BT that we never got to do.
Oh,
gotcha. I just thought it was funny that he bought me that. I'm like, oh, cool. He has an idea for BT. What's your idea? Like, I don't know. Maybe we'll figure it out. We'll just wing it and see what happens. But unfortunately, I never got to do it. But I just thought that was funny.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's just too. Like, just spending money on me, like a decent amount of money on me, just because he believes in me. He believes in what we're doing. He believes in
That's
all
what's
that
up.
stuff.
That's a beautiful thing, bro.
Now, did you?
Not really.
Did you have any kind of like inkling or heads up or like? Because I know AEW did a great job. I mean, because I was wondering because I'm a big fan of yours, so I'm like, where the hell has Brody Lee been? So I'm trying to do all this research. I'm Googling, like, where's Brody Lee? And I found something from Meltzer where he had like an elbow injury or something. They were covering it. Did you know anything? Did you have like, or were you just like in the dark, just like everybody else?
No, they let us know. So there was a TV where I don't know the exact what it was, but I know he came down. He drove. He's from Tampa, so it's like I think a 2-hour drive or so.
Okay.
So he drove there. Got there, he wasn't feeling good. So I remember like someone telling him like I didn't see him that night, but I remember someone's like, "Hey, Brody thinks he has COVID because he's not feeling well." Then they tested him. He didn't have COVID. So he like, I hate these reports that are like people demanding answers. Like he didn't have COVID. They tested him like 100 times.
Yeah.
But when he got home, he drove home, I think, eventually after that. And then that's when he started to get sick. And then we heard he was sick. And we're like, oh, that sucks because, we want to, keep going with this.
Yeah,
obviously,
you guys are hot. You have momentum. Yeah.
Obviously, we're not thinking anything serious. Like, you don't think like that,
Right.
And we knew it wasn't COVID. So, like, okay, well, he's just sick. It's fine. I think it was maybe the week of the pay-per-view, his wife came down, and which this was like upsetting because in my head we all had to do like a meeting anyway before that. So she comes in and I'm like, awesome, Brody's feeling better. He's gonna be back soon. I can't wait. And then she's like, no, he's doing really bad. Like it's not going well. It's like they don't know what it is. That's the worst part is they don't know what it is. And I'm assuming they still don't know. I haven't heard an update, but they don't know what it is even like now. So it's hard to treat something like if you know it's COVID, you know how you should treat it. If you know if it's like pneumonia, you know how to at least there's a chance it can go wrong, but at least you know what exactly you should be doing. They didn't know. They never knew. And he was in one of the best like lung facilities he could be at apparently. So there was always that. There was that, and then there was just I think another like 2 months or maybe not a month and a half, whatever it was, month. And then eventually we got the bad news. But like we knew that, and we always get like little updates. At one point he was doing a little bit better, and they gave us a lot of hope. But I guess it just didn't. I guess like took a turn for the worse. So
yeah.
So we knew, and that's the thing too, which I'm really happy. I'm really proud. That's why I'm proud. I'm very proud of my locker room. She told the whole locker room. It wasn't like a select few, and everyone kept that a secret out of respect. So that's like unheard of in wrestling. Like a secret in wrestling is impossible. And one of the toughest things is I'm friends with his friends, some of his friends, and some of them don't know. Like they didn't just tell like a lot of people, all of his friends. It was probably a few of his really, really tight friends, and then the AEW locker room, I guess the family and stuff. But my buddy Brian Myers, I'm in a group chat with him. He's like, "Hey man, where's Brody been?" Like, and I'm like, I gotta lie to him. The stuff like that was really difficult, But I'm happy that everyone's secret.
Yeah, it just goes to show. I mean, dude. I've read, just like you probably have, hundreds of thousands of different tweets and Instagram posts. It's not like the Ultimate Warrior. When the Ultimate Warrior passed away, it was like 50-50. People were like, oh, he was a dick. He was this, he was that. Some people loved him. But Brody Lee, nobody had anything bad to say. So obviously he'll leave a lasting impact on your career for the rest of your life. And I really didn't know too much about him. I knew he had a badass look because, we're beard bros, right? So we know another dude when he has a good fucking beard, right? So I've always paid attention to him. I loved his look. I loved his intensity, his eyes, his just all that. And obviously rest in peace, Brody. And I'm glad that you got to know him personally and he will leave a lasting impact on your career. But I do want to switch over now to something a little bit more lighthearted, obviously. I'm going to put you on the spot, John. On a scale
All right,
of
let's do it.
1 to 10, how hot is Anna Jay in person?
Oh Lord, yeah. Now,
I'm putting you on the
Anna
spot
Jay.
here, bro. 1 to 10.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna give her. You know, I'm gonna give her a 10. She's a total babe.
Dude, I agree with you. I think out of all the chicks in wrestling, I mean, listen, back in the day, there was Tori Wilson, there was Sable, there was all the other. I put Anna Jay up there with any of them, bro. Anna Jay is a dime piece. Is she dating somebody? Is she married? Well, like, what's her deal?
I think she's single.
Because John, I'm trying to slide the DM. You can make
About the DM slide.
What's her history? What's her what's her social? Yeah, what's her all?
Yeah.
No, she's a really nice person too. So she's really cool that they put her in the group.
Yep.
So John, speaking of, I mean, since you burst on the scene with this newfound stardom, I mean, what's your bedroom looking like, bro? You know, how's the
what's your relationship
how's the
status
stardom
like,
treating
John?
you, bro?
So no one really knows this, but I have a girlfriend right now.
Okay, there you go. That's
Joe,
good.
can you
No,
play
that's
the
good.
bump?
Yeah, I don't post. I feel like wrestling fans are weird. I don't like if I post something with my girlfriend, they're gonna go and stalk her Instagram and do all this shit. So
Yeah.
I really just don't post anything because you never know.
You
You
gotta
get this
keep
weird.
out the limelight.
I have a lot.
You'll have guys
Have a
like
lot
Robert
of-
Frank sliding in her DM.
Yeah, you don't want me in your girlfriend's DM, but that's what happens when you're a celebrity, bro. You got to kind of keep your personal life out of it. You know, I mean, it's hard being on TV every Wednesday night, bro. What the fuck?
No, yeah, she gets it though. Like some people, obviously, some girls would probably be pissed off. They're not posting her. What are you hiding me? She's really cool.
Oh,
She's like super nice.
You got one of those
Very-
too, huh? I'm married. I've been married for the last 3 years, and I'm starting to get how come I'm not in videos anymore? How come I'm like, listen, babe, you got a real job now. You can't be in Robert Frank videos. You know, it'll ruin your career. But so John,
Does John know your past?
What do you mean my past?
Does he know that you used to be the BGCW champ?
Well, John, I mean, I don't want to spend too much time on me. This is about John Silver, man. But listen, back in the day, me and Ray.
Do you think that you could take him back in the day?
Back in the day, I don't know, man. John is thick, bro. John is
your
built.
ass.
John is built. We used to do, and I know it's frowned upon, and maybe it's not as frowned upon as it used to be, but we used to do backyard wrestling, and but we weren't like a backyard, like a trampoline federation. We actually built the fucking ring, like from cinder blocks to a layer of mattresses. We would drive around all day long, up and down the roads to find people throwing away beds to get mattresses, get box springs. We go to Home Depot. We get the plyboard. We got the cable. We got the posts. We used to make tables. We used to put on like legitimate shows for like 40, 50 college kids every couple months. We would call them, what was it called? It wasn't a pay-per-view.
Pay nothing per view.
It was a pay nothing per view. And people would come and they would watch us wrestle, and we would do all the moves and shit, and it was fun. But I think John still could have taken me, man. John goes on these flurries. So you have like this, I mean, you go through your match, but then like when John Silver hulks up, like on the Brody Lee tribute show, there was a point where for like 30 straight seconds you were non-fucking stop. Like kick the dude off the apron, run down, spear this dude, come back, slide in the ring, do this, do that. I mean, dude, that takes a lot of fucking endurance and cardio, bro.
Oh yeah, yeah. That definitely blows me up a little bit. So, I mean, I'm glad. I've hated doing cardio forever. I would do it, but I would always hate it. Now I haven't done it in a while, but I got back into it recently with kickboxing. Doing that, just hitting the bag for like 20, 30 minutes, like that helps a lot. And I'll do my sprints, I'll do my, go on the treadmill. But once I'm allowed again, I mean, I'm sure I'm allowed now, but finding a decent place right now to do jiu-jitsu as well. That stuff, like if you go hard in that stuff, man, that stuff kills you. So that definitely helps my cardio. But those flurries too, because it's different when you're in the ring. There's like everything has a different type of it. Like if you run a marathon, like it's great. Then you put you in a ring and you might get blown up. It's like a different type of cardio. It's different.
It's
so
because you got adrenaline kicked in there as well, and
you got you got the crowd. You got how you're breathing because during certain moves it just throws it off, and then trying to like sell for the crowd, like it throws off your breathing, like your normal breathing. So stuff like kickboxing, jiu-jitsu kind of help replicate that a little bit. And so I mean, my style of wrestling, I guess I picked the style that I need to keep my cardio good at all times.
Gotcha. Well, that's what happened when I started watching you on the BTE skits, and then I caught wind of like who you were. I started YouTubing you, and I came across. I even told you this. I came across a match where you were in PWG with Brian Cage, and you motherfuckers was just I've never seen anybody throw Brian Cage around. Are you familiar with Brian Cage, Ray or Joe? Brian Cage is a fucking beast, bro. I mean, I've never met him in person. I'm a big fan of his as well, but I've never seen anybody throw Brian Cage around like John Silver throws Brian Cage around. So tell us briefly about, because I've became very intrigued with PWG. I'm an old school wrestling fan. I'm one of those wrestling fans that was a wrestling fan for like 5 years straight and then didn't watch it for 10 years. Then when the NWO came back, I watched it for another 5 years. Then I didn't watch it. Then I watched it for another 5 years. Then I didn't watch it. So now that AEW and NXT and WWE and all the, Impact and everything, everyone, the federations are up and running and whatever. I go back and I find these PWG videos, and it seems like everybody who's somebody has gone through PWG at one time. So what the hell is PWG? And how did you guys all migrate to how did you migrate there and then branch off into these different federations?
Yeah, so PWG is pretty much known as like the top independent wrestling place to go. They haven't run since COVID, obviously, but like it's basically like like you said, like so many huge names have been there. So me being like, I grew up on WWE, right. Only WWE. I never really watched WCW. I didn't watch any indies. I didn't know I even had to watch ECW back then because I just didn't know how to find it. And then that was it. Then one day I was training. I still was just a WWE guy when I started training. And then I went to Brian Myers' house, and he put on PWG match. And it's going to sound silly, but I think it was just, it was Daniel Bryan versus Kenny Omega. And it was like, I guess maybe this is why would I do what I do now. It was such a great mixture of amazing wrestling and then comedy.
Right.
Like these guys doing like comedy spots, but then also beating the shit out of each other and doing these crazy, awesome shit. And I was like, holy crap, I'm hooked. Like that's where I want to be.
The moves in PWG is shit that WWE would never allow you to do in a million years.
Ever.
Like I remember when Shane Helms went to WWE after WCW shut down and he got hired by WWF, I guess back then, they told him he couldn't do the vertebraker. I mean, the PWG, the shit that they do there, it's like, holy fuck. So continue. I'm sorry to cut you off.
No, it's basically you do what you really want to do. I mean, like the other guy doesn't want to take the move, but I've seen some of the craziest shit there. So once I saw that video, I think I was like 16 at the time.
Right.
I was like, that's on my goal because that's like a big goal of mine. And they're out in Cali. So you have to be a name and you have to have someone pitching for you to get there, basically. Because their shows, now they're in a different venue because the other venue I think got taken down actually. But the venue was sold out in seconds.
Right. It was like the old ECW arena, I feel like that type of like cult following.
It's basically like the most, besides the ECW arena, is like the most famous like independent wrestling building. Like everyone wanted to work there.
Right.
So that was in Reseda, California. So we wrestled the Young Bucks on me and Alex wrestled the Young Bucks on a show, like a bullshit show in Brooklyn, I think. Like it was like a tag. I think it was like a tournament type thing.
Yep.
And it wasn't a huge crowd. You know, we wrestled the Young Bucks, and they didn't really know us. I think actually maybe no, they actually did know us. They knew me. I wrestled them in Chikara, but I was under a mask as a different character. But we wrestled them there, and they liked us a lot. They're like, you guys are really good. Like, you guys have everything you did. The timing was amazing. Like, all the little stuff, not just like the, you know, hey, you did really cool moves. It was like all the stuff you do is really good. And I think they were happy too that I'm sure at that time they were the hottest thing in independent wrestling. So if you're wrestling Young Bucks, people would be like, oh, awesome. Can we do this and that and this? And I do this crazy thing, and then you do that, and then we do this, and then you hit the super kicks, and then we hit the, like, we're just kind of like, hey man, let's just go out there and wrestle. Let's fucking do some fun stuff. And like, whatever you guys are thinking, like, the crowd's not huge. It's not, you know, they're not really making a shit ton of noise. Like, they're not a fun crowd. So we were kind of just open to whatever. I think they liked that as well, that we were very easy to work with. And we had a, you know, really good match. And they put in the good word to Super Dragon, who runs PWG. And then we got brought in. So like my dream, one of my goals, my checklist, that was definitely one of my check. What am I saying?
Now,
Check it off.
No, I know what you're saying. Is that experience working with the Bucks? Is that how you ultimately got your job with AEW, or got the chance, the opportunity to get brought into AEW?
Yeah. So wrestled them a few times, the Bucks, and really cool, you know. But you know, it wasn't like we're buddies that text and, you know, talk all the time or anything like that. So it wasn't like we're super tight, but we were really cool with them. They helped us get to the PWG. Always super nice, always super cool. And so once we heard AEW was starting, I mean, I'm sure they got this message by a lot of people, but we messaged them saying, hey, you know, we hear this company is starting, and just letting you know that me and Alex are not under any contract, and we would love the opportunity. And it was pretty funny. Like, I think it was, I forget if it was Matt or Nick, but they basically said, it was like something like, sounds good. Don't worry. This is before they even announced AEW was a thing, but everyone kind of knew that the rumors was going to happen. Mm-hmm. But he's like, don't worry, big things are coming. So I'm like, awesome. That sounds like pretty reassuring. But what happened was they announced AEW and all this stuff, and then like we didn't hear from them. They're like, oh, did they mean like big things are coming for them and not us?
Big things are coming for them.
You know, like, hey, don't worry, we're gonna do great.
Yeah,
you know,
we're gonna do great.
But, so once they started signing people and doing this, doing that, it's just like I'm just always constant with the internet, seeing what's happening. And then we didn't get a call until like probably after the first show, at least till after the first show, or maybe even we were on the third show of Dynamite. But like we said, we got hit up. It wasn't by the Young Bucks, it was by QT Marshall, and he said, "Hey, we want to use you guys for the show." And that's when we thought, "Hey, we're in. We got our jobs at AEW."
That's when you got called up to the big times?
Yeah.
Well, that's when we were put on
the show against
town.
Proud and Powerful for a 2-minute squash, right?
Yeah. So after that, we were a little like depressed, but what happened, Matt, I'll say this about Matt, he like never would lie to us. He never said anything that wasn't going to happen, but he's such a California guy that the way he talks sometimes just seems like he's kind of joking around. Mm-hmm. So we did the show and we're in the back and whatever, and Matt comes up to us like, "Oh, good job, guys. You guys did great." He's like, maybe we'll just like bring it back like every week, and you guys will just like do a gimmick where you are the local talent in every town. And we're like, whatever, man, that's awesome. We just want an opportunity. We want, you know, we just want our foot in the door. So I think it was 2 weeks later, we got a call to do the show in West Virginia. So me being me, I'm like, oh, okay, we can drive. It's about a 7 or 8 hour drive. And they're like, no, we're going to fly you out. You get a hotel and everything. And we're like, for me, it was like, holy shit, that's awesome.
Okay.
So we get flown out. I think we got, we did a Halloween match against Trent and Chuck. when they were dressed as like Rick and Morty, and it was more. It wasn't like a quick little 2-minute squash. It was a little bit more of a match, but it was basically the squash. It was at least you got a little bit of offense in, but it was a fun little match. And then Matt's like, "Hey, good job, guys. Maybe we'll just kind of like put you in the dark order or something." Like that's how he says it. And we're like,
he just says like
so
so nonchalant, like, "Hey, maybe we'll just do this." I don't know. Maybe we'll put you in the NWO.
Yeah.
Who cares? What do you? Yeah.
maybe we'll just, no, he's just like, "Yeah, well, maybe we'll just put you in the dark order." And we're like, "Yeah, awesome. We'd love that." And then it just like slowly happened. But it was so like it just kind of slowly just built to that, which is so we never were like, oh, we never had our guard down. We're always just kind of like super nervous, super like on the edge. Like, are we going to be here? Are we going to get signed? But it worked out. So
no, it definitely worked out in your favor. And like I said, you were over like Rover. I know Joey has a question that he wanted to ask you, John. Joey, what do you got for Mr. Silver?
So I have a question. You obviously are a professional wrestler, and I used to watch wrestling back in like the early 90s. I literally remember watching the O.J. Simpson car chase while I was watching wrestling, 1994.
Damn.
Yeah. So I'm 37 years old. So I remember, like the early 90s and late 80s stuff. So here's my question to you. People used to make fun of me when I was young, and I would say I'm watching wrestling. This is elementary school, middle school, and then they would say wrestling's fake. So what's like your go-to line to people? Has anyone ever said that to you? And I mean, you're in the ring.
It's like, oh, you're one of them fake wrestlers.
So like, do you have a go-to line that you say to people, or what is your thing? Or you just ignore it, or is it not even really brought up?
I feel like I don't really get harassed at all like that anymore. Maybe when I was younger, definitely when I started training. I started training when I was 14 years old, so I'm in high school. And that's when wrestling was not cool. Like it was some people watch it, and a lot of people more people would secretly watch it. But people hear I'm being a pro wrestler, and they kind of would talk shit a little bit. They wouldn't really say it to my face ever because I was always in shape, and I was a wrestler in high school till 9th grade, and then I started doing the pro wrestling. I quit there, but I always had a good build, and no one would try to really fuck with me. It's
Nobody
man,
popped off.
No one ever would. But I've always hear that person was talking shit about wrestling, and this person said this, and but it really the thing that I think is so funny is when people are like, "Oh, you watch that fake wrestling shit?" It's like, well, no shit, it's fake. What are you, a fucking idiot?
Yeah, I mean, it's 2021 now.
Listen, you can say wrestling is fake all you want until you start taking those bumps.
Yeah.
And as soon as somebody who says that wrestling is fake takes that bump, they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But is it fake or is it scripted? Because I think there's nothing fake about a backdrop. There's nothing fake about a superplex.
Yeah.
There's nothing fake about
I agree.
fucking
when Rob and I, we go to firehouses and shit. What are those? We watch some of those events, right?
Yeah, I got pretty cool with Crowbar. I'm sure you remember Crowbar from WCW. I got pretty cool with him over the years just through social media. And he always invites me out to the shows that he does locally. And so we go to these little gymnasiums and dude, I'm like a little fucking kid there. But go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, and I was going to say, and I get crazy excited. These guys are jumping off of a top rope through a table.
Yeah.
And you're like, that was real. I just watched it. It's real.
Yeah. There's nothing fake about doing a moonsault off the top rope and jumping on someone and going through a table. That's not fake. Yeah. There's nothing fake about that.
Yeah. There's stuff, that obviously we oversell, obviously, for, to make it, but this stuff doesn't feel good. The mat's not, people think the mat's like a trampoline or how the ring is made, it's steel. On top of that is wood. On top of that is maybe
canvas,
amateur, right? And then there's a canvas, which is almost like a denim material. It's not a soft thing. So
we
just
know about that.
even sometimes I get sick a shoulder tackle and I'll bump it. I'm like, oh shit. fucking hurt.
Yeah,
So it's not.
Believe me, we remember because we made, like I said, we made a ring back in the day, and that shit was taking a superplex off this little bootleg ring we made. Was like,
Yeah, but
you were hurting for a week.
You and I both still have the scars to prove that there was nothing fake about the shit that
of
we were
course,
doing.
of
And
course.
we even have one of our old wrestling colleagues, Mr. Khan, in the building tonight.
Oh, is
chat.
ex-con in the building?
Ex-con
Okay, cool.
is in the live chat. But so I have a question. So at what point, John, did you say like what was the defining moment for you where you were like, this is what I want to do?
So a lot of people have that moment. I don't really have it. I just kind of just knew, if that makes sense. Like I watched it since I was as young as you could be and watching wrestling really. And it just was like, there was no thought about it. There was no like, you know what, Dad, I'm going to be a pro wrestler. It was like, yeah, I'm going to be a wrestler. Of course I'm going to do that. What else would I do?
Yeah, of course. What else is there? What am I going to be, a fucking mailman? No.
Like, when I started to go and, when I was in high school and I went to college, like, I'm like, okay, backup job. What can I do? But I was always like, no, I'm going to make it in wrestling, which when I got into wrestling, like, for someone my size, it was not even like, that was almost next to impossible. So I'm glad that the wrestling business kind of changed where it's more about, being a good wrestler instead of just being fucking
big
6'8",
being an athlete.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess, UFC getting very popular helps that too. Cause you look at some of these guys, some of the most badass guys in the world, and they're freaking 135 pounds, 145 pounds, and they're still fucking badasses. So maybe that helped a little bit, or maybe people kind of realize that the world doesn't want to see a boring ass, match of two giants just kind of hitting each other and not really doing much. I think the independent wrestling getting big helped that too, because all the guys, Daniel Bryan, all these freaking awesome independent wrestlers were not very big, but having the best matches and, being the best professional wrestler, really. So I'm glad that it did evolve. The business evolved a little bit, or actually a lot. So, I mean, yeah, it was I kind of went off track, but there was no really actual moment that I just realized I had to do it. It was kind of like, yeah, I'm going to be a wrestler.
Yeah,
of course.
You just always knew.
Good for you.
I mean, John, listen, I always knew that I was going to scream in my car for a living to do a. I always knew when I was a little kid. I was born in the 1970s, John, and I was like, you know what? When I'm fucking 40-something years old, I'm going to scream in my car for a living. I just knew it. I just knew that was going to happen.
You're good at it, so.
I'm not going to lie. For a minute, I thought that we would be wrestlers. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah. Well, we did go through
and then I went through that stage where I got the contest and I got in the ring and I was like, this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
But getting punched in the face, pulled punches or not, it's still not a good time.
Yeah.
And I did the same thing with UFC. Yeah, getting punched in the face sucks.
Yeah.
Like, it sucks.
It does. It definitely sucks. John, before we get to our so we have a Patreon family who has a couple questions for you. But before we get to those questions, I have one last one for me.
Sure.
On your Mount Rushmore of wrestling or wrestlers, who would be on your Mount Rushmore for you personally? I'm going to give you mine first, just to give you an example of where I come from in wrestling, okay? My Mount Rushmore will include Bruiser Brody, Macho Man Randy Savage, Hayabusa, and Sabu. They're interchangeable. They're both one and the same. And Kenny Omega. Now, Kenny Omega has been removed from the list, and John Silver is in his spot now. Kenny Omega did something. I got heat with Kenny Omega, okay? But we won't go into that on this podcast. Well, I'll tell you privately on Instagram. But Bruiser Brody, actually, Macho Man Randy Savage, the very first memory I have of wrestling is Macho Man Randy Savage pile driving Ricky Morton from the Rock and Roll Express through a table in ICW. That was the first time I ever saw wrestling, and I was like, holy shit, this is amazing. And then Bruiser Brody scared the fucking shit out of me as a kid. because this is when I still thought wrestling was real. And I was like, why would anybody get in the ring with Bruiser Brody? Hayabusa Sabu, because I was out of wrestling for probably 5, 6 years, 7 years. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, I ended up seeing some ECW shit. And they brought over Hayabusa and I forget the other dude, the Japanese dude that used to have the Chinese letters like tattooed all over his body. I forget what his name was. This was back in like the early 90s.
What's this? He has
You know who I'm talking about, though, right?
Yeah, I'm just drawing a blank right now because I'm dumb.
Yeah,
but,
no, I can't think of his name either. But they were wrestling in ECW, and I saw the shit that they were doing. I was like, holy fuck! Like, what is this moonsault shit? What is this chairs and flying over the top rope? I can't believe it. And then I was hooked again for a couple years. Then I got out of it for all these years, probably 10, 15 years. I didn't watch it at all. And then I saw the Kenny Omega versus what's his name? Okada. In Japan. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. So that would be my Mount Rushmore. But again, Kenny Omega has been replaced by John Silver. So who is your Mount Rushmore of wrestling?
By the way, Dana Takushi.
Yes.
Yeah. Just remembered it. So now it's such a tough one because like there's growing up me, which like that's gonna be different from the way I view wrestling more now or more like as a teenager. Or so like early me being is the first, as a young little kid, the very first people that come to mind are going to be Stone Cold and The Undertaker, obviously.
I knew those two. And then I was going to guess The Rock and Mankind. I was like, this guy's Mount Rushmore wrestling. But okay, so you got Stone Cold and The Undertaker. Who were the other two?
Stone Cold, The Undertaker. You know what? It's tough because I had, I slowly, would change my favorites, but the Stone Cold that's when I grew up. That's, some of the best TV ever, the stuff he was doing. So he's, the number one by far when it comes to me being hooked on wrestling. And The Undertaker, too, was just, I was a kid, I'm like, he's kind of scary, but I like it, and that's really cool. I was just I would probably even throw the Hardy Boys in there.
Okay.
That first TLC match, was freaking, hooked. I was like, damn, I want to throw myself off freaking buildings now,
Yeah.
And then my fourth. No, I might even, me as a kid, I think it grows up and it changes, but I'll give you my next Mount Rushmore. You know what? It's tough. This one's tough because I hated all the heels. So The Rock was a heel, so I didn't like him. Triple H was a heel, didn't like him.
Kurt Angle was a baby face, right? No, he was a heel too.
I think he's very first exposure was a face, and they quickly turned him heel, I think. But then I might say Mankind actually too, because he was just being scary. But as a kid, I loved that.
But you felt bad.
As I started to get old, yeah, but it was such good stuff. And he's a Long Island guy too, so of course I love him. But I think as I got older, then it would change to Kurt Angle. Definitely became my number one. I'm not just saying it because I work with him, but Chris Jericho.
There you go.
Chris Jericho, then also Shawn, because his matches were just amazing. And then I guess I can't say this maybe, but watching his wrestling ability, not anything else, would be probably Benoit. I just loved the way he wrestled.
Oh yeah. No, anytime anybody brings up Benoit, I never. I mean, obviously, what he did is what he did, but I always
one of my favorites.
It's his in ring work.
Is
that
what one of my favorites.
What I judge him on. Obviously, he did what happened was horrible, but anytime people say, "Oh, Benoit is one of my favorite wrestlers," I don't look at them like a social justice warrior. What? How could you like him after what he did? No, it's what he did when he was in the ring. So yeah, no, I 100% agree that he could be up there. Let me tell you a real quick story about Chris Jericho, John, before we get into these Patreon questions for you. Chris Jericho, I mean, obviously I've been lucky enough to have gone viral plenty of times on the internet with the videos that I've done. Chris Jericho, 1 billion% knows who I am. 1 billion% knows my face. Even if he doesn't know my name, he's like, oh, I've seen that dude before. Okay. I get on, this was right before COVID. This was February of 2020. So right before like the COVID shit happened in March. I get on an airplane. Actually, this is a funny story too, because I had a first class seat for a Sunday morning flight. One of my buddies that I was with we were in Florida for like a video shoot, and my buddy was like, yo, I don't want to stay here anymore. I want to come home. So we ended up coming home a day early, and I had to fly and coach, right? So I gave up my first class ticket for Sunday to fly home a day early. So I'm getting on the plane, getting ready to go back into my peasant seat all the way in the back of the plane. Who's sitting in first class grilling the fuck? This is before masks and everything. Grilling the fuck out of me is Chris Jericho. And we lock eyes with each other like, I know who you are. But neither one of us broke character. And I just walked back to the back of the plane with my head down. I was like, he thinks I'm this big fucking peasant. So never talk to him, right? So I text Ortiz, and I was like, yo, Jericho is on my flight, but we no-sold our interaction together. What should I do? He's like, bro, just go up to him and say, what's up, man? He's such a cool dude, blah, blah, blah. So I was like, all right, we'll see what happens. We get off the plane, and we're going to baggage claim now. He's standing there all by himself. John, this is a fucking shoot, bro. 5 people came up to me to take pictures with me that recognize me from the internet. He's standing all by himself waiting for his fucking suitcases. He still wouldn't come up to me and say, yo, what's going on, man? How you doing? And I actually didn't have the balls to do it, to go up to him.
I hate you for that.
Bro, we had the most awkward interaction. So like I kind of had beef with Chris Jericho, like that we never like recognized each other. But is he a cool dude behind the scenes?
Yeah, he's very helpful.
Awesome.
He's like he likes to help people. He likes to really, he's not just there. And some people, what he could do is he could show up and just get his paycheck and do what he has to do, and then kind of hide and leave. But he doesn't. Like he's come up to me and talked to me multiple times about little advice I should do. He likes to hang out with the boys. After the shows, he'll hang out with everyone. But I've always been really cool with Chris, so it's actually, hanging out with like one of your favorite wrestlers of all time. It's always pretty cool.
That's amazing. So if I went up, I went up to Chris that day at the baggage claim, and I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm Robert Frank. Nice to meet you, man. I'm a big fan." Like, he wouldn't have big time me.
No, I mean, of course, like you always, of course, you hear the stories of like not him in per se, but like anyone where you catch a famous person on a wrong day and they're kind of like a dick. But he never to hide him. Oh, hey Johnny, how you been? What's going on? Like, but. So unless he had like a terrible freaking day, bad flight, he's sick or doing something, he would probably be really cool and 100% be with that. So
awesome,
Rob. I bet Chris Jericho doesn't know who the fuck you are.
I guarantee you, he knows who I am. He was looking at me like, is he gonna say hi to me? Like we were playing. It was like whose dick is bigger than whose. So we were playing this game with each other, and I guarantee, dude, there's no way he doesn't at least know my face. I mean, okay. So, John, we don't want to hold you too long. So let's get to these questions from our Patreon members. There's about 10 or 12 in here that we'll breeze through and, give us as much as you want, and we'll move on to the next question. So first one comes from our man, Robert Walker. He says, what's up, John Silver? How do you like AEW? What's it like to work in the Dark Order? I love your finisher. Have you ever thought of going to WWE? So I know I gave you a lot there, but how do you like AEW, and what's it like working in the Dark Order?
AEW is awesome. I mean, it's a great job. I mean, I'm working a job right now where I get to do exactly what I want and it's not even like I have to be there all the time. It's not like I'm constantly on the road. I'm constantly doing this. I have to, I'm never home. I don't get to do this or see my friends. It's, we wrestle. We have TV once a week, and we film dark, and we do whatever. So, like, I get so much freedom. We get freedom in like the way we are able to like show ourselves too.
Yeah.
Like me, right? Like me being like John Silver is me. It's not even like it's literally a lot of the stuff I say is stuff.
That's great. It's not a character. Whatever's coming out of your mouth is what the real you would say.
Yeah, it's really not a character even like at all, basically, which is funny. But love it there. Dark Order is great because, like I was saying before, like we just all get along. Like there's no like, oh well, this guy is a dick or whatever. Like all our personalities are different, but I think they work. And when you put them all together, especially in like a comedy setting for like BTE, or even on Dynamite, like we're all different. We all wrestle a little bit different. We all act a little different, but it all meshes well.
It all works.
It just works. It's not like there's like, oh well, we have two of these guys that do the same thing, and this guy is kind of just a dick. It's just we're all buddies.
So to take the heat off of you, there is no thoughts of WWE at this time, right?
No, absolutely not. No, it's just, I mean, I love AEW, so
yeah,
I have a blast here. Obviously, there's people that work for WWE that love it. There's, you hear a lot of horror stories too. So, I'm having a lot of fun here. I'm making money here. I'm just enjoying myself and having a blast. So, I mean, obviously before AEW, like WWE was the target, but even once AEW started, I was like, you know what, that's my number one place I want to go. It's not WWE anymore.
Awesome.
Yeah, this is what I want to say.
All right, that's good shit, man, and a good answer. Kevin the Body says, John, what are the requirements to join the Dark Order for men compared to women? It seems like the men are physically talented, but maybe emotionally vulnerable, while the women tend to be super hot. Also, who is hotter, Anna Jay or Tay Conti? So I guess break down, are there different requirements for men and women? I didn't know that was a thing.
I mean, if you're gonna be a guy in Dark Order, you gotta be a total hunk. You gotta be handsome. I want some muscles.
But half of them wear masks, John. What are you talking about? So wait. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, out the mask. All right, 5's not a hunk. All right, I'll say 10. Sweet hunk.
Gotcha.
But then the women, I don't know. We only let Anna Jay in, so I don't even know what the requirements are.
So Anna Jay, I'm going to put you on the spot. So if your girlfriend's listening to this, put her earmuffs on. Anna Jay or Tay Conti, who's hotter?
Oh, I am not answering that. Well, Anna's her off, and Tay Conti is like a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt, so I can't piss her off. So
I gotcha.
Both very good-looking women.
Good answer, John. Oh, Juicy One says, hey, John, who do you think as a promo is the most underrated in the biz? So underrated promo. One big thing for me as a wrestling fan, I get more invested in the wrestlers who could sell me their matches on how they present themselves through their promo. So who do you think is the most underrated promo in wrestling?
Depends on how people are rating people. I guess, you know what I'm saying? If you're rating, depends on how, I guess. I think just someone who is getting some love with this promo, but maybe is not everyone's talking about it. Like Kingston's got a really good promo, and he can just talk about anything and just make you believe whatever he's saying. He can tell you a lie that you know is 100% a lie, and you'd be like,
and you'll
actually, you know what? I think he's right. You know,
he can sell sunglasses to a blind man.
Yeah. So he's only been with AEW for, you know, maybe 6 months, 7 months, maybe. So maybe he might be underrated, but he's a top promo guy. besides that, I don't know. I don't. Depends. It's hard to say who's underrated when you don't know where everyone's getting rated per se. You know, but
Right.
um,
No, I think Kingston is a good answer because again, he's not a household name. People, if you go on the street and be like, "Hey, did you hear Eddie Kingston's promo?" They'll be like, "Who?" So yeah, I mean, I would consider him being underrated. But if you're an AEW fan or a wrestling fan, or been following, NWA or TNA or anything like that, Impact, you would know who he is. But no, that's a good answer. Muscles Marinara says, "Hey, bros and John, thanks for liking my tweet earlier." So yes, I did like Muscles Marinara's tweet earlier. He goes, "What's it like being the most over motherfucker in wrestling today? Johnny Hungy for life." So how are you taking all this new stardom, bro? Can you go to the grocery store? Do you get stopped and mobbed by fans?
No, I can go anywhere. I'm pretty good right now.
The day's coming.
It's not anything too crazy. I get recognized sometimes, but it's usually people are very respectful, so it's not even like weird. Like there was a guy at the gym, and like just staring at me, and I felt it because I actually was about to ask someone for a spot, and I'm trying to like gauge the room to see who's actually capable of giving me a proper spot, And this guy's just looking at me. I'm like, what the fuck is this guy looking at? I'm like, do you want to spot me out? Like, what's the deal? So eventually I did like the machine next to him, whatever the hell I was doing. He asked me who I was, but he didn't want. He's like, oh, he didn't ask for a picture. He's like, oh, I'm a big fan. So I feel like a lot of people that do recognize me are like really respectful. So, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like stuff hasn't changed, but it has changed, if that makes sense. Like
it's going to change once the world goes back to normal. I'm telling you right now, it's going to, because it's going to be a different scene. But we get that a lot too. And me and Joey have like code words now when we're out in public, and when you could tell when someone recognizes you because they pull their phone out, they're looking at you, they're looking at the phone, they're showing their friends, they're like whispering. It's like you always know when someone knows who you are. But the one thing that and I don't have to give you any advice. Listen, you're on TV every fucking Wednesday night. The one thing that I've never done in the 4 or 5 years that I've been doing this as like my full-time like gig, I've never turned down a picture. Like if someone's like, "Hey, can I get a?" I've never big timed anybody. Whether I was going to miss a flight, if I was doing an expo and I was at a meet and greet and fucking shaking hands, kissing babies all day, and someone comes after hours, like the one thing, and I'm sure you have the personality, I could tell that you would never do that too. But always keep that in the back of your mind that these are the people that are actually paying your bills, whether or not they're giving you money directly. They are the bill payers. So always, like I said, I don't have to give you advice, but
I've always been it's to me, it still doesn't make sense that like that people are coming up to me and wanting to just get a picture with me or just talk to me or just like tweet it. They get excited if I like their tweet or like. So to me, that's still just crazy that this even happened. So I respect all my fans, but yeah. So I've never turned down anyone's picture or just someone that comes up to me. But the only thing that I will do though is this happened the other day. Me and Miro are walking to the hotel, and like there was a stands outside, and so they came up to us and they said, Miro, can I get a picture? So I just kept walking. Yeah. So because I don't want to be that guy. Oh wait, did you want me to? You did? Yeah. Oh, you didn't? All right.
We know somebody like that.
So if they're not gonna ask me, it's fine. I could just go past. Not everyone's gonna be a huge John Silver fan, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, man. And listen, if you hung around, they'd be like, "John, can we get a pic?" But Anthony Clark, let's move on because we got about 4 or 5 more. Anthony Clark says back in the time they had many organizations to choose from. Now when it's time to pick one of them, it's about money, exposure, and the way they use you or the way they book and treat you. Okay, so I guess what Anthony is saying, if I could, because I've been drinking a little bit, so I may be reading this wrong, but I guess what he's saying is, would you rather go to a promotion where you're going to get paid more money, get the exposure, but do what you're told? Or get maybe paid a little bit less, but have the creative freedom to do what you want and get yourself over, which ultimately will make you more money in the long run with merch sales and, contract extensions and stuff like that. What's more important to you right now?
I mean, they would have to be. I'd have to to say a definite answer. It'd have to be like if the company is paying me more, it's like, hey, we're going to give you $10 million, but you have to do this. I might just suck it up and give you $10 million. But
shit. Okay.
if it's sustainable, I'd rather just do what I'm doing now. I have so much. I have a lot of freedom. I can kind of do what I want, and all the stuff on BT is now transferring over to TV, and then we're doing almost slightly BT stuff on TV. Like this past Dynamite, there was stuff on there. It was Trent actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, so you guys are basically doing BTE on TV now?" I'm like, "That's kind of just what it was. That's just what we did. That's just what we do." And it was in our little Dark Order layer there. And so I'm having a blast. So I would definitely take a pay cut to have more freedom. And I know there's, maybe I shouldn't. I don't know if he probably doesn't care. He probably will say it himself, but. A guy in AEW that you see in WWE was like, he's like, I don't care how much money they would give me. I would never go back. I have so much more fun here at AEW. So,
wow.
I mean, if it's going to make you that depressed,
that kind of shows you the environment and the overall just feels of that. And you hear that, because I listen to a lot of shoot interviews. I listen to a lot of podcasts, like wrestling podcasts. It seems like over in the other locker room, it's miserable. Unless you're a top guy, it's misery. But yeah, no, I mean, listen, you're in a good spot.
I don't want to shit on them and put words in other people's mouths because you hear those people, and then there's so many people that say how much they like it, but those people get oh, they're just saying that because I work there. So. I won't say that everyone thinks like that so, but I don't think there's anyone in AEW is like, man, it's like a prison here. I can't do anything I want.
Right.
I have no, it's just a good time. So I think I'd always had more fun at AEW, but I don't want to shit on anyone, any other company either.
I got you, man. You always got to play it safe, man, because you never know. Peter with the RF tat. So one of our Patreon members, Peter, he actually has my logo, my little emoji, my red face emoji with the bandana. He has it tattooed on his arm. He says, yeah, he said, John, do you have anybody with a Dark Order John Silver tattoo yet or what, bro? Come on, get on my level. No, I'm just kidding. Peter says, what's up, fam? My question is, any plans on who is going to be the new leader of the Dark Order? Is there going to be anybody that is put in that spot? And what was your reaction to Sting coming back? So I guess we'll go over the Dark Order first. What's happening with that? Are you allowed to say anything, or do you know anything, or what's happening?
All right. So even before that, I think it was actually today, and I've actually had 2 or 3 other ones. People sending me their tattoos of the Dark Order symbol on them.
Oh shit! Saying. Okay, so I got 2 people that I know of so far that have tattoos of my emoji. So you got me beat. Okay, I'm a peasant. Go ahead, John.
Every time, but so there's not going to be another leader of Dark Order.
Okay.
I mean, I don't have final say, so if something drastically changed, no one else is leading Dark Order. Mr. Brody was the leader. He is the one and only exalted one. No one else is taking his spot. I mean, if it even comes up, I will vote absolutely not. That will never happen to me.
There you go.
So no leader. We're just gonna be the Dark Order. Obviously Uno is usually more the mouthpiece.
Yeah, I was just going to say, Evil Uno, even before Brody came on the scene, he was kind of like the mouthpiece, and he could cut a really good promo in any circumstance. And all of you guys, I mean, I guess the practice of BTE, just doing, I mean, you and Reynolds and even Stu Grace, everybody could cut a good fucking promo. So I guess you really don't need a new leader. He'll be leader forever. What about Sting? How did you feel about that?
Oh, so this is pretty funny. So they didn't tell us that Sting was going to debut, or at least they didn't tell me. So it might have been, maybe it was the match after. I think he might have debuted after me, Alex, and Hangman wrestled Matt Hardy in Private Party. So remember, I hurt my knee that day. I just got bruised badly, but I was in the trainer's office, or actually no, maybe it was when I hurt my heel. I don't know. I was in the trainer's room anyway. Doesn't matter. And I got ice on whether my knee or my heel, whatever the hell it was hurting. And so I'm just sitting there, ice in my freaking shit, whatever. And there's a door there, and Sting walks in full gear.
Holy shit!
And I'm bullshitting on my phone, texting people who are fucking on the internet, and I look up, and Sting's there, full gear, with his freaking jacket, everything on, and he as he's walking past, he looks me in the eyes, and I'm just like, I was like, holy shit!
Yeah.
And then he just walked past. I'm like, what the hell? So I always had this joke. It doesn't even make sense, but I would always whenever someone would say, "Oh, guess who?" or "Oh, so it was me and this person," I was like, "Oh, who Sting?" That was always my thing.
Yeah.
So I'd be like, someone would be like, "Oh, so I was at the bar." I'm like, "Oh, with who? Sting?" That was just always my thing. I would say to Alex. So I text Alex as I'm in the trainer's office. I'm like, "Hey, Alex, guess who's here tonight?" He's like, "Who?" I'm like, "No, Alex, guess." He's like, "Sting?" I'm like, "Yes, Sting is here tonight."
That's amazing.
So it's just that was just a pretty funny thing. But I mean, Sting's the man. So far, he's been really nice. I've talked to him real quick once, but everyone else that has really talked to him more has been saying that how nice and cool he is. So yeah. Pretty cool.
It's good to see him back on TV and whatever role that he's going to be in, and hopefully he could spend some time with you and give you some words of wisdom one of these days. Nathaniel Ellis says, Mr. Silver, do you have any ties or moonlight at CZW? And if so, is there any way the Beaver Boys are going to appear again? Because the shit you guys did to Dick Justice was funny as fuck. Blessings on your success and safety. So what the fuck is he talking about? I'm in the dark here. What's happening?
Oh, you're missing out. This is this.
Do I got to YouTube this
BCE
shit?
Before. You're gonna have to.
Okay.
I did CZW, which is, if you're not aware, is independent promotion. Was definitely one of the top promotions, independent promotions, in America, definitely.
Yep.
And they're more so, they rose up because of they're known for ultra violence. So some of these guys are doing most insane deathmatch shit you've ever seen. It's hard to even explain the shit they do because it's hard to even think of. But they would do this shit, but they'd also have good wrestling. So not saying that's not good wrestling, but they'd have good regular mat wrestling and stuff like that. So I started there probably 2012 or some shit. And me and Alex are tag team champions, and then eventually I think we took some time off. We came back, or whenever it was. I forgot what it was. But we had a feud with this team called Team Tremendous. Dan Barry and Bill Carr. Now, Bill Brody reminded me of Bill Carr so much because they made me laugh so much. Uncontrollable, laughter. It was hard to film shit with him because I would just always be laughing.
Right.
So their gimmick was they were basically detective cops. They'd wear the overalls and a cop outfit, and then Dan would wear almost like a Miami cop. So he had
Did you say
Hawaiian
Texas,
type shirt.
You said Texas cop wear overalls.
No. So Bill was Bill had the old not overalls. I'm thinking. What am I thinking of? Not freaking the jean overalls. I can't think of the word. Whatever. Just for picture of a detective cop with the freaking shit. I don't know. But Anywho, it doesn't matter. Never count. So, so we decided we're gonna have a feud. That's all they told us. So we're like, okay, let's film some shit. So we did these bits where me and Alex would like break a law, but like it could be like jaywalking, or it could be like there's a sign that said no autographs, and we signed an autograph, and they would always try to bust us. And this is like really what this is like the stuff that we do now, like before we were there, obviously. And we would, it eventually got pretty crazy. Like I would just say whatever the fuck we wanted. And if you look up CCW, I think it's investigations. Maybe that might come up.
Okay.
But there's a lot of videos. And Bill and Dan are really, really funny. Dan's a stand-up comedian, and Bill is just the funniest guy ever. And we had these really funny like skits, and then we had a few like really good matches with them for CZW, and they eventually got this guy with them who was also doing it on the Indies, a cop gimmick. His name is Dick Justice, or his name is Dick Justice, and we did the thing once where we're wrestling Dan and Bill. Dick comes out, and we cheated in the match, so he pulls out like it's a fake gun, but he pulls it on me, and the crowd fucking goes nuts. I see a lady fucking run away as if they didn't know he was a fake gun or even a wrestler, and like they arrested me, and we did videos with him too. It was just real. It was like filming those were so much fun, and that was before BTE. So that's like I get to do that again now with BTE. Because I like when I was like growing up, obviously I always wanted to be a wrestler, but I'm like, oh, another cool job. That was like doing some kind of comedy. Like if I was like in a comedy movie,
maybe you could convince Rob to get back to the comedy.
I don't do comedy anymore.
Yeah, convince Rob to get back to the comedy.
I don't do comedy anymore.
I miss filming skits. This guy's the king of comedy, and he decided to hang it up.
I do politics.
Well, let's do some shit together.
Hey, if John gets me down to a BTE segment, man, I'll be funny as hell. I promise.
Let's do it.
I'm gonna do it one day. It'll recruit you.
There you go. Give me some of that purple Kool-Aid.
But yeah, that shit in CW was great, and like it's people like, oh wow, I never knew John was so funny, or John and Alex are so funny. It's like, damn, we've been doing this shit for years. So it's yeah, that's like early stuff. So if you haven't seen that stuff, you can look it up. I think CCW, look up Tremendous Investigations. It might be under, but
there you go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we'll definitely look that up because I got to see it. Jimmy the Bread Guy, he asked another Beaver Boys question, but we already answered that. He says, would you ever vouch for Rob, meaning me, and get him a contract in some form with AEW? So what about
Rob
me,
would
John?
die his first match in the ring.
What about me? What about Raven? No, what about me? I mean, listen, I'm too old to get in the wrestling business, but I would definitely do a BTE skit if you were ever able to get me in there. I'd do something.
Rob's good for throwing one punch.
Yeah.
I told you a while ago. I was like, hey, it would be funny if we try to recruit you. So I'm still open to that. So
four people in the AEW audience will know who Robert Frank is.
I don't know. People have seen, even if they don't really watch your stuff, they've seen your face. If you're scrolling through Facebook, they've seen you. Like it's especially when you first came out with all the, like your first few viral videos. Like I've watched like a shit ton of your videos, So
there you go.
It's even if they don't like go out to find you, they've seen you just scrolling.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, it will be fun. One of these days, we'll definitely do it. John Nelson says, what's up, John? Thank you for all the entertainment and sport that you bring us each and every week in AEW. Could you briefly touch on the recovery aspect that it takes post-match to get ready for the following matches? Thanks. That's a good question. So John is a personal trainer. So what is your after-match protocol, I guess? Do you ice down? Like what happens? Yeah, what's your regimen? There you go. Regimen, not protocol. Regimen.
There's sometimes I come back and I feel great. Like I feel better than when I went out there. So yeah, just cool down. But like I said, I think it was like 2 weeks in a row where I got. It was actually that over the top battle royal thing that we did,
Mm-hmm.
where I got thrown out and looked at hard, but I bashed my heel into the floor, and then I was limping the next day. And then the match with Matt Hardy, I bashed my knee. He gave me like that twist of fate where my legs were on the apron, and somehow my knee went under, kind of like under the ring.
Dude, I saw that. That was crazy.
Yeah, so actually I have a crazy freaking like scar tissue something in my knee where I could feel it like moving around, which kind of is weird.
Damn.
But so then it's like, luckily we have a doctor there, we have physical therapists there. So right after, I'll kind of go in there, I'll ice. If I'm bruised up, I'll ice. Or they could always like do like the scraping for the muscles, which breaks up knots in the muscles. They have the cupping that they could do. They have the massage gun. They could, crack our backs. Pretty much whatever physical therapist could do.
Okay.
So, and there's a few of them. If I'm really hurting, I'll go in there. But if I feel fine, I'll probably just, go to the back, kind of cool down, relax, try to breathe a little bit, and mentally on my head go over what happened and during the match, and we'll all be good. But maybe, yeah, I probably won't stretch after because I'm freaking lazy. But I really am so lazy. But yeah, as long as I'm not hurt or hurting too much, I'll just kind of chill and relax. But
all right.
If I am, I'm the therapist there, so it's good.
Good shit. Good shit. Alpha and Omega says, good evening, fellas. My question is, what is Chris Jericho and John Moxley's attitudes backstage? Also, just wanted to give my condolences on the loss of Mr. Brody Lee. So how is Jericho and Moxley to you backstage? I mean, you don't have to go in depth, but are they cool dudes? Like they give you the time of day, or do they big time you?
Yeah, Moxley's like the most chill dude ever.
Yeah.
He's kind of like a little intimidating because he's very like he's kind of to himself, but he's not. Like he kind of has that vibe that he just is to himself. But if you go up to him and talk to him, like I'm a big UFC fan, and so is he. So we started talking for like 15, 20 minutes about UFC, and he's cool. He's not the type of guy that's like going to go around and start playing jokes on you, or like just he's just kind of like, he's a little to himself, but he will talk to anyone, and he likes to talk to people.
Okay.
But Jericho is Jericho is fun. A lot of what you see, especially now on Dynamite, is how Chris is. He likes to help. He talked to me multiple times about little things I could do to improve myself, which I always appreciate. And he's always down to hang out after. I think a lot of times after the shows, especially like, a lot of times after the shows, like he'll hang out. Everyone's kind of drinking and hanging out, and it's cool to hear like him, and it'll be like Matt Hardy and a bunch of other guys that have been there for a while, like telling stories and stuff like that. So it's always fun. But it's really cool that the guys I've watched for a long time end up being like actual good guys.
Good
Chris
shit,
has always
because
been
they say never meet your heroes because you'll always be disappointed. But I'm glad that you've had good experience with.
He might be. If I can get a match with Chris Jericho, I'd be so happy.
You'd be set. Spanky Dawson. We got 3 more for you, John. Spanky Dawson says he's one of our Australian Patreon members. He says, do you know where there's any Australian wrestling communities? Like, is there any independent or federations or anything in Australia?
Aussie community.
Have you ever worked in Australia, or are there any to your knowledge? I'm sure there are. There has to be.
I haven't wrestled there, but there definitely is some. There's I forgot this girl's name. Someone hit me up on Facebook. This wrestler from Australia.
Isn't that big chick from the Rhea Ripley chick? Isn't she from Australia?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I don't know. I think she's from somewhere.
But this one girl hit me up about, she's a wrestler in Australia. She's talking about where to go if she moves to the New York area and like where places to train. So she trains somewhere in Australia, and I've seen pictures. She does shows, and I know there's definitely places. You just gotta, I think, if you really do a search on Google, I'm sure you can find it.
Okay.
But I can't out my head.
All right, no problem. Storm Shadow says, Mr. Silver, any interest in fighting John Moxley or Kenny Omega? Also, so sorry about Mr. Brody Lee. So, John Moxley or Kenny Omega? I mean, dude, I think you could take both of them. I mean, just be the world champion already. Just take the belt and BTE world champion. You and Reynolds could take the tag titles. Somehow, some way, get the TNT title off Darby Allin, and just run. What is that called when you have everything, Joe? What's the term?
When you have everything.
Yeah, you have like all the belts. What is that? Run
Grand
the.
Champ?
What is it?
Run the.
Run the gamut, or right, whatever that word is.
Unilateral or some shit.
I don't know.
Is that what you're talking about?
I don't know. But John, I mean, I know you don't do the booking, but John Moxley or Kenny Omega in your future, what do you think?
I mean, if I really want to, I could beat like everyone, but I'm just kind of like right now,
Good
relaxing.
answer.
So maybe
Good
one
answer.
day. But we wrestled. I think it was me, Alex, and Five a while ago. We wrestled the Bucks and Kenny Omega on Dynamite. But singles, I would say I like to wrestle Kenny, but I feel like Moxley would be just different,
Yeah.
like something a completely different style. Like he kind of does what he wants to do, and I kind of like that. And it'd be really cool to wrestle Moxley. It would be cool to wrestle Kenny too. But we did that. At least I had a match with Kenny, but Moxley would be definitely something different. And I know he's a big MMA fan, so I think us just kind of like trading shots and like kicking the shit out of each other and trading submissions would be really fun.
Yeah, no, that would definitely be a good match, a dream match. Last one from our Patreon crew, John, is from Milo G. Milo says, welcome to the Glorious House of Gainz podcast, John Silver. Before I ask my question, I want to send my condolences for the loss of Mr. Brody Lee. He was an important person in your life, and I want to give him a space of remembrance and respect. So that was very nice, Milo. He also says, what was it like being trained by Mikey Whipwreck? And what can you tell us about your Rob Grimes days during the No Way Out days working with Dan Delaney? See, all that is, I know Mikey Whipwreck. The other stuff is over my head.
Okay. So Mikey was my trainer originally at NYWC in Long Island. So I was a 14-year-old kid when I started training. So I was terrified, and like I said, I didn't really watch a lot of ECW because I didn't know how to find it.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a kid, that's like, it sounds weird to say this now, but like the internet was like, it was there. The internet was there, but like it wasn't like, oh, just pop on Google and just type anything you want in. Like people didn't do that in the mid to late 90s or even the early 2000s. Like it wasn't like just as easy as just going on my phone real quick and typing how to watch ECW, so I just never watched it. But before I started training, I bought the Rise and Fall of ECW, and they actually have a whole like part about Mikey Whipwreck. And then when I found out about the school, I'm like, who's the trainer? Like Mikey Whipwreck. I'm like, holy shit, it's the freaking guy I was just watching. So he's actually very intimidating. Like I was scared shitless, to be honest. Like he runs it like
tiny.
Yeah, he was
he was
the underdog dude that fucking but,
all the time. He was a small guy though, right?
Yeah, I think you might be thinking of Spike Dudley, but Mikey Whipwreck was smaller. Yeah,
Mikey, I would say Mikey's tiny. He's bigger than Spike. He's bigger than me. But even it's just his presence and like knowing that what he's done.
Yep.
It's like those things like the guy could be a freaking tiny as hell or not look big at all, but like he beat Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like he was ECW champion. He just taking changes. Fucking Mick Foley. So it's like, it's like holy shit. Like this is the guy to learn from. But he was so helpful and he cared so much about the basics, and I think that was a big thing. And that's why he trained so many guys that made it. I mean, Me, Alex, Tony Nese, Kurt Hawkins, Zack Ryder, Amazing Red, Jay Lethal. Like, he's trained so many freaking people. I'm sure there's more. I hope I'm not forgetting right now, but there's definitely more. But he's trained so many good wrestlers, and it's because he's very detailed. A lot of times nowadays, it's about people are just worried about getting a paycheck, and like people coming in and getting their money. So hey, let's get in the ring and do some cool stuff. I didn't get into the ring until 3 months in. Yeah. I wasn't allowed. I had to do all my lockups and everything on the outside. It was a privilege to get in the ring. It wasn't like, hey, we need your money. So, but because of that, my lockups and my chain wrestling became really good. So it's just it's very, very detailed, which is good. He's strict, which is good too. It's like it's the way you should be taught. But now a lot of times now people are just so like they want the money and they're scared to scare people away. But that's I guess how it is now.
You need to get back to those Ole Anderson training days where they beat the fuck out of you. But what is this? What is the Dan Delaney? What's the No Way Out days? What's that all about?
Oh, so I did my first extra work in I think it was 2012, and it was me and Dan Delaney, who is actually on the Indies known as Dan Echoes, but now he's also a referee actually in WWE. Okay. And it was a 2-on-1 match, it was us two versus Ryback, and it was on pay-per-view. It's so crazy that at our first extra work we have an actual pay-per-view match. So technically I worked at WWE pay-per-view. That's awesome. So the match was just obviously Ryback beating us up, but you watch it back, I took the best back body drop in wrestling history.
You got to find that.
Go find it. Look up Rob. If you look up Rob Grimes at WWE Network, it comes up.
Okay.
But best back body drop of all time. But that was cool because I was young then, and it was definitely I was nervous as hell. I was so nervous, and it was actually funny that we're in the ring and we're going over what the match is going to be, and I think it was Michael Hayes might have been our agent. And I don't want to talk shit, but some of his ideas were like, I was like, what the fuck? That makes zero sense.
Right.
but Ryback's like, hey, I have this idea. He's like, I think, what if I like pressed you? Or he said one of you, but I volunteered by the way. What if I pressed you from the ring to the outside through the announce table, which is a big gap. Yeah. So that's not like close. And I was like, fuck yeah, let's do it. I'm 100% down for it. And then I think Michael Hayes, whatever it was, he's like, I'll have to run it by Vince. But Vince didn't want us to do it, apparently. Which I was like, shit, that would have been like, people would remember that. People would be like, oh shit, he threw that guy freaking from the ring to the, announce table. But we had a fun little match and everyone thought it was really good. So, and it was definitely first time, I was probably like 20 or 21, in front of a massive crowd. Pay-per-view, WWE. It was a cool experience.
That's amazing, man. I'm definitely gonna look that up, man. But dude, I can't thank you enough, man. Like I thought we were gonna do like 20, 30 minutes tops. We we killed it tonight, man. John, I thank you so much for being on the show. Before we let you go, I want you to be able to plug all your socials, where people can find you. On Instagram, if you're doing the Twitter thing, Facebook, where can people get your merch? Why don't you just plug away? We'll give you a couple a minute or two or 10, however many you need. Go for it.
Alrighty. So on Instagram and Twitter, it's the same handle. It's silver number and then just the one.
Silver number one.
Yeah, silver number one. I made that a long time ago, but number is spelled out, and then one is just the actual one.
Okay.
That is on Twitter and Instagram. I definitely like to post a lot of funny stuff and fun stuff, so you can watch out for that. My merch, a lot of it is on Pro Wrestling Tees, and you can rather look up the Beaver Boys. It's still on my old page, the Beaver Boys, okay. Or you can look up Being the Elite. I have some shirts on there as well. I think some of them are both on either or, but got some shirts on there. Also, I do have a Twitch. I haven't really used it in a while, but maybe I'll get back into it. And my username on Twitch is John Silver 64.
All right. There you go. So Instagram, Twitter, and Twitch, and you can get all John's merch. And again, John, just from all of us.
Oh, I got Cameo.
What do you got?
I kill it on Cameo. I'm the best.
Oh, shit. Oh, yo, I am the Cameo King, John Silver. You got to get on my level, but you're on Cameo too?
I'm on Cameo. I love it.
All right. Well, so what is it? Just cameo.com/John Silver?
Yeah, just look up John Silver. I'll definitely show up on there.
All right. Very good. Very good. So you guys could get personalized shout outs from John. And listen, Cameo is a great gig, man. I mean, I never thought people would be booking me to tell their friends to go fuck themselves and get in the gym and happy birthdays and anniversaries and all the good shit. But John, listen, appreciate it. We will definitely be in touch. I can't wait to meet you in person one day. It's going to be an honor, and I'm going to be nervous. I'll promise you that. But you are over like Rover, and I wanted to get you on our show while you are still the hottest thing in fucking wrestling. So thank you, John, for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me on, man.
All right, brother. I will talk to you soon. Thank you.
All right, later, dude.
Bye-bye. All right, so that was John Silver from the Dark Order AEW. Before we let you guys go, we do have to read our Blue Chew sponsor because they're going to get really mad at us if we don't.
Time out.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You think we're ending the podcast right now?
Well, we still have the Ask the Bros. We have the mailbag to get to.
You miss literally the most important part that everyone is waiting for.
Joe's segment.
It's my fucking weight loss, you scumbag.
Could we get to the Blue Chew segment? Because I feel like people are going to get a boner when they hear what your weight was.
Yeah. Next up is I'm going to go do a lap. I'll be right back.
All right, go ahead. Are you going to pull a Ray Vegas and you're going to go upstairs and go handle some business with MBJ? All right. So again, I'm still buzzing, man. I'm a big John Silver fan. I'm a big Mark. Listen, man, I'm a wrestling fan. Blue Chew is brought to you, or the Glorious House of Gainz podcast is brought to you by Blue Chew. Blue Chew brings you the first chewable with the same FDA-approved active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis. You can take them anytime, day or night, even on a full stomach. Yes, we're talking about dick pills, ladies and gentlemen. Blue Chew is made in the USA. It's prescribed online by licensed physicians, so you don't have to go to the doctor or wait in line. It's cheaper than a pharmacy, and they prepare it and ship it right to you in a discreet package, so nobody knows you have dick pills, okay? No awkwardness, and you don't even need to leave the house. Right now, we got a special deal for our listeners. Visit BlueChew.com and get your first shipment for free when you use our promo code GAINZ with a Z. You just pay $5 shipping. They will give you up to $20 off. If you pick a package that's more than $20, if you need a lot of dick pills, they're going to give you $20 off. But if you pick something that's a $20 package, you will get it for free. Again, that is BLUE Chew.com. Promo code GAINZ to try it free. Blue Chew is the better, cheaper, faster choice, and we thank them for sponsoring the Glorious House of Gainz podcast. Remember, guys, when you support our sponsors, this is not just lip service. Don't just say, oh, he's reading an ad. This is very important, guys. When you support our sponsors, you help make our podcast possible. Please be sure to use our promo code GAINZ at BlueChew.com. Go ahead, Joey. What was your weight? I know, didn't you say it before we got the call?
No.
Oh, you didn't say it. Okay.
All right, first off, I want to read a super chat.
Okay.
This super chat comes from...
Probably came in like 4 hours ago, right?
A while ago. Let me get back to the super chat here. I'm scrolling. Holy good Lord.
I'm scrolling. Jesus Christ. 14 orders came on the store since we've been live. That's that Twitter fucking deal.
I also believe...
How many people use the promo code HONKY? Let me find out.
I also believe a lot of it has to do with the website looking the way it does. You could deny it all you want.
Hold on a second.
Tremendous Games, $5 dono, says, starting a GoFundMe for Ray to get an iPhone as long as he doesn't spend it on Kratom. Wow, Creighton, we
Ray-
haven't talked
Ray
about this in a
has-
while.
he's
I
had
know.
it
I
off.
already diffused that a little
Oh,
while
okay.
ago. I took off the case and I held my phone up to the camera. And he was
Oh,
like,
that's
I
why
see.
you were doing that. I saw that.
Yeah, he's trying to troll me, man.
All right, and
Listen,
then
I've
we
had
got,
an iPhone for what, probably going on 2 years now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely going on 2 years.
Yeah,
Since
you
we've
guys
been living here,
you guys
yeah.
shamed me into
We
it.
shamed you into an iPhone.
and then John Nelson, $5 dono, says, took 6 hard as fuck in anticipation of Joey weight loss segment.
Ooh.
There
God
we
damn,
go.
John.
All right. So, tomorrow morning, today is Thursday. You're probably listening, and that's the other thing. The live stream, they'll be like mentioning, like, Joe, wake up. You look like you're sleeping. Listen, fuckers. There's however many of you are in the live stream, only you see my face. The other people that listen to the podcast, which is the overwhelming majority, and, no offense to anyone listening or on the live, like, we love all of you, and it really does make the podcast, but I don't care how my face looks because, most of the people are listening. So what I wanted to get at is tomorrow morning, Friday, is when most people will listen to this. And that is when I'm going to get on the scale in the morning, take a picture of the scale the same way I did 2 weeks ago from tomorrow, okay? And I will post the exact same thing I'm kind of telling you right now. You get a little sneak peek. I am down over 6 pounds in 13 days.
Good for you,
right?
Joe.
God damn.
Now, it's about 6.2 pounds, I believe. And I was mentioning earlier, it's mostly it's diet. I mean, let's listen. Even though I've gone to the gym 11 out of 14 days, I know that if I was eating like shit, it wouldn't matter. The cardio, Rob and I have been increasing it. Each day we go. The new minimum. You start at 15 minutes, and then days later it's 20, and then days later it's 25 and 30. Right now my chest is killing me. We did chest yesterday, so I mean I'm at the gym. That's not an issue. The diet was the biggest issue. The first 5 days I was not feeling good. Crazy headaches. Now we're what?
But you expect that, and then
I knew that
you
would
actually planned it where
yeah.
you didn't get headaches during the week. You
I-
got them on the weekend.
Yeah,
What do you mean he planned it?
So I
He
strategized.
strategized
the
where
diet.
his diet.
I strategized starting the diet on a Friday morning. That way my headaches would go on for Friday night, Saturday, Sunday, when I wasn't at work. Because when it's at work, you just tell yourself, I know that if I just ate a cheeseburger right now, it'll go away. My body needs caffeine. My body needs sugar. It needs fat. So I did it over the weekend, and, I still had headaches. It went 5 days straight, but it is what it is. What do you expect? It's like when they fucking send drug addicts to the goddamn rehab. They're tweaking the first couple days, sweating and shit. So yeah, I'm down 6 pounds. I don't have to wear the Wendy's outfit. I'll put my
There you go.
new weight tomorrow. And it's really not that hard to lose weight. It's just, you have to just be fucking disciplined. And granted, I've done this a million times already. I'm only 2 weeks in, so I'm not impressed with myself. And I think that might be the difference this time, where I'm just telling myself, this isn't really that big of a deal. You've done this 85 times in a row. Don't get impressed till you're down 40 pounds. Then start to get impressed. So right now, I'm kind of just trying to take it 2 weeks at a time and just do them in these little clips. And yeah, I have not had, my whole thing was last week. I said, you'll get one cheat meal through the week and one cheat drink. So I had 3 slices of pizza one day out of the whole 7 days, 3 slices of pizza. I got sick of shit that night. My stomach could not handle it.
Yeah.
It was towards the later part of the week. So I'd gone 6-7 days of just healthy food. And by healthy food, I'm talking about I'm eating the same shit every day. I'm eating eggs. I started to mix it up and make deviled eggs. And for those of you messaging me on my DM saying, deviled eggs aren't healthy, listen, asshole, I'm using spicy mustard and fucking hot sauce. And I'm using half the yolk for each egg once I make the mix and put it back. So it's not like I'm mixing it with goddamn mayo.
You got a
and
bunch
shit.
of yolk left over, and you're not using mayo.
Exactly. There's a whole bunch of yolk after, and I wouldn't even think of using mayonnaise. I'm eating grilled chicken meals at work, steak at work. And then at night again, I just pound more eggs or fucking chicken. I mean, that is how you lose weight. And if you want a bodybuilder diet, they eat the same shit. It's fish, it's chicken, it's steak. And I'm talking plain, not all this fucking seasoning and shit. And then eggs and oatmeal. It's fucking, I haven't even done the oatmeal because I'm not a fan of oatmeal. So that's why I've been eating a lot of the deviled eggs in the morning. It's just easy. Just bang, 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 shove a bunch, and then you can go. I've been taking whey protein every day. I do the Steel Supplements Veg Pro. I do all the pills in the morning. I take like 11 pills, vitamin C, vitamin D, your daily supplements, all that shit. So I have to keep on track to lose 5 pounds every week for 2 weeks until I drop the initial 30 pounds. After that, I should be sitting.
Joe, you got this shit, bro.
I think I got it, but I ain't gonna brag yet because we're 2 weeks in. I got once that'll put me in about the 220 something range, and then after that, it's gonna be tough to get down another 30.
Listen,
so.
we have to think
you're gonna hit the wall.
We have to think 2 weeks at a time.
That's what we're doing. That's
2
what
weeks
we're doing.
at a time. Right now,
that's what we're doing.
your weight was what?
Yeah,
you announced
150.2.
150.2. So you had to be 251.
Yeah,
and you broke that.
Yeah,
you're 250.2. Now on the 28th, you have to be 246.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have to continually go down 5 pounds, but you really only have to lose 4 pounds because you made up a little bit.
But let's go. Yeah. Let's shoot for the 5.
Right.
So how hard
to do 5?
How hard has work been as far as because you order food all the time?
It's not because it's crazy because everybody at work decided to do the same thing with me. So everyone's doing this. So like,
everybody's kind of diet.
Nobody's dude. We went from ordering out every single day till we have not ordered once.
But you can still order out. Just don't order fucking pizza and subs.
I can't. I just rather everyone's doing the
You're
same.
on your own.
Yeah.
Everybody's on their own.
And like now we're talking. I've gone an entire week. This whole week I haven't had my cheat meal yet or the cheat drink. By the way, my cheat drink last week was Mountain Dew and Southern Comfort. I wanted to have a drink.
Yeah.
I love Mountain Dew, and I was like,
was it like a fucking big gulp size though? Or?
No, God, dude, I must have had like 4 ounces.
Okay.
Yeah, like nothing crazy.
Oh, that ain't bad.
I barely had anything.
Joe, I want to be able to applaud you.
Yeah, but not yet.
Not yet. It's way too early.
Like I said, let's wait till I can lose at least 25.
What's the longest?
These are little victories every 2 weeks.
What's the longest since we've been doing a podcast?
Yeah, about 3 months.
3 months that
I got down to about 217 like last year. Before I said I was going to do this show, like before COVID, I was able to get myself down to 217 from 250. So I lost about 33
you'd probably
pounds.
pay to be 217 right now.
Dude, I would. And I will not go out. I don't
Are we
care.
making fun of you at 217 or no?
Yes, you are.
You're still making fun of him at 217.
Because 217 still isn't like I shouldn't be 217. Like I should be 195. I should be 200. So I'm not going out until I crack 200. I'm not going to a bar.
Yeah, you guys have been boring as shit, and you guys are killing me. Let's just say that.
So I'm gonna I'm not gonna stop, dude. And everybody who made fun of me, you're gonna see, motherfucker, my face ain't gonna look like the Nutty Professor. Your girlfriend is gonna be begging to DM me. I'm telling you, I am a good-looking guy, but no one can look good at 260.
I really feel like, and this is a shoot. You know how you tell me, no matter how good I look, I always think I'm gonna look like shit.
Yeah.
I think the same thing is gonna happen to you.
Wrong.
You're gonna get to 204.
No.
And you're going to be like, I'm still this fat guy. I don't want to go out. I don't want to go out. I don't want to bang chicks. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that.
No, dude, I'm going to look good. you, dude, the whole reason I even got this big was because the problem is at the 220 weight, I would always tell you guys, I must look in a funhouse mirror because I don't think I look bad. And then something happened with COVID and you're in the house every day and the weight just kept getting put on and put on. And then what happens is if you gain weight, you'll your stomach gets so big where you'll break out. You'll fucking have stretch marks. And that started to happen. And that's how I kind of was like, wow, this is bad. So we're going to see. We're just going to keep doing the check-ins. That's all I can do. I can't talk shit anymore. Every 2 weeks I post and that's end of story. That's all it's going to be. So tomorrow morning I'll post. You guys got a little sneak peek. I did it this time. Let's see what happens in 2 weeks. Maybe I gain weight. Maybe I don't lose the 5. Maybe this was just a little short ride that I got to enjoy. We'll see what happens.
All right. Well, listen, it's small wins. It's
Small
little
steps.
victories, small steps. You beat the first one. It's like playing a video game. You don't go to the final boss at the first level, right? It's like Legend of Zelda.
Yeah.
You got to beat the first level and get the Triforce. Then you go to level 2. Then you go to level 3. Each time, I think we need to get you some fucking Triforces.
Dude, I used to joke.
Like your princess is another. Like, good job, Joe. You lost 5 pounds, but your princess is in another castle, and then you move on to the next one.
So I mean, if we
Shows you how long I've been since I played video games that I'm referencing Zelda and Mario Brothers.
If we were to describe like what it's like right now, like each level, each boss.
Yeah.
And I used to joke about this in the early days of this podcast almost 3 years ago. Like my goal was always like, and I used to write it on a bottle of water. I was drinking gallon jugs, and I labeled each like how far you drink.
By
and
8 a.m. I should be here.
and
At
I
12
like,
p.m.
and at the very top I had Vin.
Yeah.
Like I was like, in terms of like the crew and who looks the best physically, like Vin was like below me.
Why would it be Vin?
Because Vin isn't jacked. All right, let's be honest.
So that's what you're saying.
So then I was like the top of the
Vin's
water.
in good shape now.
All right, but when we're comparing them to the crew, my point is,
Like
so it
Robert
was like,
Frank.
so if like this was, if I keep losing weight and getting shredded and whatnot, Vin's the first boss. All right, and then after Vin, it was Ray. That was how I labeled my water bottle. As I drank more and more water through the day, I was getting
It's like, all right, I beat this person.
Yeah, I beat that.
Who was
boss.
at the bottom?
So then it went Ray, and then it was you, Robert Frank. Okay,
Don't
And
tell me who's
the
below
final
me.
boss.
I knew it.
the final
I
boss.
fucking knew it.
The final boss. Jimmy Triceps. and that's all.
What's the timestamp, everyone? Joey was talking about you. You DM Jimmy.
Yeah, but
did you hear?
this is talking positive. Jimmy was always the final boss on my bottle, on my gallon of water.
Yeah.
Because he was like the most aesthetic person
He
in the
was
crew.
aesthetic. Yeah.
So
I don't really plan on ever being as aesthetic as Jimmy, but the shit that I'm working with right now, y'all gonna see me.
It's on his level.
Y'all gonna be like, "Whoo, Ray, what the fuck?" And I'm on.
I'm
Natty
yawning
chicken
like
patty.
a motherfucker.
So-
I'm not even on that kratom right now. I'm on Natty chicken patty.
Yeah.
So basically, yeah, I'm coming to all your castles, and that's my goal.
There you
Joe,
go.
I would love to see that. I would love to.
So would I.
To be able to go somewhere and you're not wearing a t-shirt at the beach.
2 weeks at a
Is that
time.
a Freudian slip?
2
You're gonna
weeks
be
at-
coming on some castles?
No,
What is
2
that?
weeks at a time.
All right, here we go. Yeah.
What's the odds of Joey actually sticking this out? Like,
I think it's gonna happen this time.
We're gonna
I think
see.
I
it's
that.
kind of feel. I feel it. I feel it because I feel like once Joey really starts noticing the gains, it's gonna kind of inspire him to keep on going.
Yeah.
Especially if your woman is saying like, "Oh, I see."
Yeah,
a
that
difference
was
in
the
you."
other thing.
Like,
This
I'm
week
sure
she
that
said,
helps.
well, I woke up and she said, your stomach is looking smaller. Now listen, no
I'm
guy,
sure that's
no
a jump start, though.
So it made me feel good, but really a guy doesn't want to hear stomach. You want to hear abs. You want to hear your chest.
Yeah, but it's gonna be
You
a
know?
while for.
It's going to
abs
be a very
fucking
long
move.
time. But then I was at work and I was thinking, I was like, you know what? That was a nice thing. So I texted her back and I said, yo, thank you for making me feel dangerous today. Yeah. She's like, what?
Homer Simpson? Where you at?
No, that's a quote from the quarterback of the Browns. Like last year, he was in a press conference, and they're like, dude, you came out today like you were a savage. And he goes, I woke up this morning, I felt dangerous. And they're like, what? He's like, yeah, I just felt dangerous. So anyway, it's a way of saying I felt like motivated. But we do have anyway, I'll post on my Instagram. My first name is Joe. And like I said, I'll keep doing it every 2 weeks, and we'll see what happens. And we have
I just want to get to the point to where your foreplay doesn't consist of your wife rubbing barbecue sauce on your chest.
Jesus.
$5 dono from Tremendous Gainz. Tase Joey in the Wendy's outfit if he can't make it. Road to 200.
Yeah, for real.
Hashtag make Jimmy look small.
Damn.
I don't
what's
want to
funny?
see Joey at 200 pounds though.
I don't know, dude.
I don't
When
want
we
you to
were-
be 200 pounds.
There's one good photo of me with Rob, and I'm telling you, 200 on me looks good because I have broad shoulders,
like 210.
and I looked okay in that photo in Maryland or
Yeah.
wherever the fuck we went. So we'll see.
He
what
said that he
happens.
wants to recreate that photo.
Yeah, I want to go
but
back. I wanna-
You're going to be in the photo
Yeah, we're
instead of
replacing
one of
you.
the other people.
instead of my cousin AJ, who I haven't seen in a year and a half because he's laying under his fucking girlfriend. Jesus
Jeez.
Christ.
All right, guys. Before we get to the Ask the Bros
We got
mailbag,
some
which
supers.
will be a do we have super chats to get to, Joe?
No, I just caught up on all of them.
Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I just did.
Okay.
Which one are you seeing, Ray?
Nope. He's
No,
all right.
we're good. Okay. We have the Ask the Bros mailbag that we'll be doing a separate stream for. That is a Patreon exclusive. Obviously, if you're listening to the playback, you will be able to hear it. But I do want to remind everybody, Parler. Obviously, Parler got shut down. They're in the process of trying to work some shit out where they could get back online. That's probably going to take anywhere from a week to forever. But as of right now, if you want a free speech platform, and I talked to one of their bigwigs, they said that they're in no danger of being shut down like Parler. I don't know what kind of deal they struck, but Clapper, like clapping your hands.
Like chlamydia.
Yeah, like chlamydia. The Clapper. I am the same name, Robert Frank 615. You can find me there. They just verified my page this morning, which is pretty cool. And so you'll find me, and there's no imposters. So Clapper, Robert Frank 615, and yeah, we're going to do the Ask the Bros mailbag. Thank you, John Silver, for spending some time with us tonight. That was awesome. I love that. And yeah,
$5 dono from Ryan with Rowdy. Ray Vegas, you look small. Stop going to protests. I don't want to see you get owned in failure. Love, fam. I don't know. Maybe means in jail.
I don't know.
God damn you, Rowdy.
Damn you, Rowdy. Love you, Rowdy.
My weight is actually pretty maintained from where I'm actually up a few pounds.
All right.
Like I said, I've been hitting the gym, and what I'm working with under the hood looks good, Rowdy. Don't worry about me, bro. You're going to see me in a couple months.
As long as under the hood's looking good, man. Hood check.
Yo, thick in the mid, yo.
Joey, what are you looking like in the mid? You still thick in the mid?
Santa Claus. Yeah. Don't worry. Listen, this summer, we're gonna.
It's all like Donkey Kong.
I already told you about a cruise this summer, so we're getting a, no Homer Simpson on this one, but we have to get a pic of the bros, shirtless,
Homer Simpson. All right, for Joey, remember guys, that new Deep V over on robertfrank615.com is flying off the shelves. Get yours before they're gone. For Robert Frank, for Tupac, for Ziz, for Joey, for Ray, and thank you again to John Silver. I'm Robert Frank signing out.
Swallows the goal, size is the prize. It's Gainz o'clock, motherfucker. Let's go.
And we're still on the live stream. We are getting off now, going on our what is it?
We're gonna do unlisted for the mailbag.
Yeah, and Miss Nevins, I just saw she commented, are Joey and Vin genuine brothers? Yes, we are brothers. We are brothers, real brothers.
Same mom, same dad.
Yes, not half brother. We're real.
Not like me and Ray. We're Eskimo brothers.
Yeah. All right. See everybody. See everybody next week.
I'm good.
Later.